Hey Lexi, 30 years ago on the date this podcast is going up, Demolition Man was released in theaters, so I thought we'd watch it and talk about it. What do you think?
Alright.
Let's get the conversation started. Hello and welcome to LexiCon. It's not Sly, but that guy, Maddie, along with
Lexi.
Dylan.
And today we're going to talk about one of my all-time favorite movies, 1993's Demolition Man, released 30 years ago in theaters on October 8th, 1993. 30 years to the date this podcast is going up. Yes, It is one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't know where it would be on the list now. For about 2 years, it was my number one favorite movie before I saw Mallrats. And then at least for the rest of the decade, it was top 5. It's somewhere on the list. It's still an enjoyable watch. You two saw it for the first time earlier today. You can share your thoughts with it and whatnot. We're going to get right into it, though, because we got almost 2 hours of movie ahead of us. For those of you watching along, we're going to give you a countdown. Make sure, however you're watching it, you're all zeroed out. So when we all press play together, we'll all start the movie proper. I'll count down 3, 2, 1, and on play, we'll all play. And if you're not watching along, hopefully we'll be entertaining enough to keep you, well, entertained.
Yep.
So without any further ado, here is our Demolition Man 30th Anniversary Commentary in 3, 2, 1, play.
Yay.
The old Golden Tone Warner Brothers intro, classic. Rated R for violence and sexual situations. I have the volume on. I'm going to turn that down really quickly because I don't think we have any copyright stuff coming up. This captioning was made possible by Warner Brothers.
Thank you, Warner.
Thanks to Warner Brothers.
The hellish landscape of the Hollywood Hills circa... I was hoping it was going to come up quickly enough.
Circa
1996.
The far future.
Literally 3 years after this movie came out. They didn't aim very far.
They didn't have high hopes.
Somebody had a really bleak view of the future.
In 3 years, everything will be hell.
Not gonna lie, though, I did like that visual.
What's with the spotlights, though? It looks like there's a concert going on. It's like, hey, big concert here, and oh, hellish gang war over there, but come over here for the concert. Gunfire.
Oh, gosh.
And we're in the live-action version of the Thunder Road board game. As the young version of Zachary Lamb pilots us in with average white guy pilot.
For some reason, that makes me want to watch the Power Rangers movie.
What does this have to do
And there's Stallone in his Proto-Expendables outfit. I've never seen the Expendables. We might have to check those out sometime.
Just to be clear, I mean the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Not the more modern Power Rangers movie.
Go Power Rangers.
Or like the Turbo movie.
Yo, Adrian! Go Power Rangers!
Yo, imagine Stallone as a Power Ranger. Stallone and Arnold.
No. We'll redo Power Rangers and he'll be Zordon. You Rangers. Yeah, you gotta get your power up. I don't know what Zordon was.
I would love Stallone and Arnold as Power Rangers. They'd be like the Gold and Silver Ranger.
Some really special edition Power Rangers.
Is every commentary we do going to turn into talk about Power Rangers? When we watched Raw a few weeks ago, it just became Power Rangers.
I feel like getting them just to appear in a couple episodes would blow the budget.
I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't long enough to get to the Power Rangers, but if it had been like a double episode, we'd have been into Power Rangers.
Probably.
It's like one episode.
Stallone with the bass jump.
Compare them.
Yeah.
There's a bungee cord. Bounce. Moing.
It really feels like he could have been shot there very quickly.
Yo,
just kind of sitting there for
a lot of moments he could get.
To me, this movie was one of the last real hyper-violent 80s style shoot-'em-up action movies that I really got into. You could argue True Lies is the same, but True Lies is sort of a parody of that style as well. And of course, Speed would come the next year, but that's not exactly the sort of, lots of shootouts and fight scenes type of action movie. So I think it's a little bit in a different vein as well. I mean, this was my bread and butter during the 80s. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love movies like The Karate Kid and Stand By Me and Lost Boys and Monster Squad, but, dude, like Arnold movies in the 80s, Commando, Terminator, Running Man, Predator, that was my jam. And this was sort of like the end of that era for me. And you can even tell by the fact that, like I say, when I saw this movie, this was my favorite movie for a good 2 years until I saw Mallrats and started getting into independent film and different type of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is sort of that line of demarcation for me of one type of movie fandom into another one. But at the same time, I think this movie is still a blast to watch and still holds up. It good action, funny as hell. What did y'all think about it, seeing it for the first time as we get our first glimpse of Wesley Snipes rocking the blonde hairdo that was said to inspire Dennis Rodman's blonde hair when he adopted it in 93, 94 when he started playing for the San Antonio Spurs.
Interesting. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun watch.
I'm just saying, if he just shot him here, whole movie over at that point.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Well, yeah, that's true, because the place wouldn't have blown up. Although he might have lit the torch by then. If he dropped the torch, we would still have the same issue.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Simon Phoenix, the bad guy, played by Wesley Snipes, has captured a busload of civilians, and he's supposedly holding them hostage, but you find out later that he'd already killed them all. But in his confrontation with John Spartan here, I guess he knew Spartan was coming, even though Spartan was on like a classified mission, one that he seemed to be undertaking of his own volition. But he had already killed all the hostages, and when he blows up the building, Spartan gets framed for murder, and they both end up in prison for the next 30-plus years.
Yeah.
And at this point in 1996, they have cryogenic freezing.
Yeah.
As a prison system.
Yep, within 3 years they figured that out.
And also little things to put on to change the behavior.
By the way, it's 20-plus years later. Well, 30 years. Well, 30 years after the movie came out. 27 years after this date, and we're still not there.
Yeah.
Fire, fire.
They gave me...
Imagine Beavis and Butthead. Beavis is Simon Phoenix, and Butthead is John Spartan. Hey, Butthead, I'm gonna kick your ass. You said ass. Oh, got you right in the nars. Hey, man, not cool.
Say they gave me casual Batman Joker vibes.
Casual Batman Joker.
Yeah. Like, not the superhero villain situation,
no,
but
I can see it,
the same situation.
Snipes' Phoenix is such a megalomaniacal sociopath. He's very Joker-esque.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Spartan is the, rough around the edges, almost vigilante hero, even though he's an official police officer.
Yeah.
That totally works. And look, he's even got striped pants like Joker might rock. I know Joker's more known for the purple suit, but I'm sure he switched it up at some points.
Quite possibly.
Kaboom!
Ah.
I feel like that shot, the producers of Burn Notice took some inspiration for that shot for one of the
How the frick did
final
they
shots of the
survive that?
series. Yeah, they don't show that. It looks like they just got blown to hell.
Yeah.
But I guess, and then the whole building collapses, but I guess they made it out.
Yeah, just in time.
You don't have to get blasted with fire.
I did notice today that some of these effects don't quite hold up as well. They're not bad. There's nothing bad in the movie, but some of them you can see they're a little rough around the edges, like we wouldn't have noticed back in the 90s, but nowadays you notice.
Yeah.
That was a good shot, that building coming down. I assume it was practical.
He doesn't seem to have any injuries after that.
That's probably a model or something. I doubt it's full scale, but that looks fine.
Definitely.
He has like a little bit of like...
He's got like grease paint on. He was
Yeah.
He was disguising himself. They're not gonna be able to see me with this on. I'm coming in the night.
Absolutely no injuries from being blasted with fire in a building coming down.
Well, now look, just like if you see somebody, you don't know what disabilities they may suffer from, so you don't know what he's suffering from. Come on.
He has a lot of
He'd have internal
bleeding,
injuries.
okay?
Yeah. He's probably got like a torn ACL. He's just toughing it out.
Definitely.
Hey, Don, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say while we were doing this episode, you know what plumbers do, right? They lay pipe. That was like the funniest thing in the world to Dylan, about 5 years ago? That was a running gag between us. It started as just the normal, silly joke, what do plumbers do, they lay pipe, then I started doing it in a Stallone voice, and it would crack Dylan up every time. So expect to hear a lot of that during this episode. I even joked that I was going to let Lexi and Dylan carry the whole commentary, and every now and then I was like, hey, you guys, you know what plumbers do, right? They lay pipe. The font on the credits here gave me Terminator vibes. I never thought of that before, but watching it today, it felt very Terminator-ish, especially like Terminator 2, which is the inferior Terminator movie of the good Terminator movies.
I've never seen a Terminator movie.
Okay, we're stopping this right now. Terminator. The original Terminator is one of the best movies of the 80s. It is a fantastic... It's
a good movie.
It's way less an action movie than it is like a thriller movie. Some people even put it on the list of like horror movies because that's sort of, the killer stalking you type of movie. Oh, Sandra Bullock's credit. Sandra Bullock was a revelation in this movie. This is the first thing I ever saw her in, and after this, I had an immediate crush on her. I mean, I would fall in love with her a year later after seeing her in Speed, but she was great in this, and really her first big-time role. Nigel Hawthorne. This is the first thing I ever saw Benjamin Bratt in. He's great as one of her her fellow cops. We saw Nigel Hawthorne's credit. He plays the evil doctor who sort of spearheads the change in society that we're going to see coming up. Fantastic performance. Just a lot of great performances in this movie. You don't necessarily think there's Dennis Leary's credit, of course, the motor-mouth comedian who plays the sort of underground freedom fighter Edgar Friendly, who's really the true hero of the movie.
So I feel like most of
and Bill
these
Cobb's.
actors...
Oh, Bill Cobb's my boy. Anything Bill Cobb shows up in is instantly like 20% better. You guys
20% cooler?
You guys would know him as he was Del Paxton, the jazz musician in That Thing You Do, and he plays the aged version of Zachary Lamb.
I feel like most
Jesse Ventura, former professional wrestler, wrestling commentator, and at this time, future former governor of Minnesota. Also one time mayor of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. And I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I just want to hit the notes.
I feel like most of the actors in this movie, this is the only time I've seen them.
Interesting. Well, you're going to see more of Sandra Bullock, because we're definitely doing a speed commentary next year. And the actor who plays the chief of police in the future.
Uh-huh.
He's the warden in the Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
And I think we're going to do a Shawshank commentary next year.
Shawshank.
Well. But you've seen Shawshank.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So there might be a movie here or there that I've seen some of these guys in, but for the most part, I feel like this is the
There's
only time
a
I've seen
naked
a lot of them.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And I bet as buff as Stallone is in this movie, he did not use a body double. So I think we just saw some Stallone balls there. Oh, right here, definitely. There's definitely Stallone balls in that shot.
Just like Terminator, Stallone is naked.
I was watching
Stallone and Arnold both have a movie where they're naked.
I was watching this today too. I mean, I think this is as buff as Stallone ever was. Even like the Rocky days, he was a lot slimmer. You know, he was cut, but he was slimmer. He's beefy as fuck in this. This is probably the biggest I've ever seen Stallone. You know, if you're watching for that kind of thing.
So why do Arnold and Stallone both have a movie where they're naked?
Okay, dude, if you look like that, wouldn't you want to do
I feel like
a nude scene?
somebody...
I mean, come on.
I feel like there's definitely an audience for those scenes.
If I had that body, I would never wear clothes.
You have questions?
I'd at least be topless 99% of the time.
Speaking of Arnold and Stallone, which one do you guys prefer? Arnold or Stallone?
Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know anything
I literally
about either.
like all the action movies I listed from the '80s were Arnold movies. I mean, come
Yeah, you
on.
haven't watched enough Arnold
I
movies.
don't think I've seen an Arnold movie.
Have you really not seen an Arnold movie?
What was Commando? Was Commando
so.
84? I think Commando was 85 because Terminator was 84.
Have you not
No,
shown
let me
any
close
Arnold
the
movies?
Sylvester Stallone quiz I had.
She wasn't around as much. She was working and stuff.
Oh my god.
She said, have you even seen Pulp Fiction yet?
No.
She hasn't even seen Pulp Fiction, which is a movie I would see a couple years after this, which would get onto the top 5, but not displace Demolition Man.
He has a really long last name.
Yeah, I
Who,
feel
Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like by the time Mallrats came out, Mallrats was number 1, Shawshank was on the list, Pulp Fiction. Oh God, what was on the list though? Because I feel like Pulp Fiction, I feel like at the time of Demolition Man, near Demolition Man, because I would have seen them afterwards, Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction were both on my list of 5 favorite movies. I hadn't seen Star Wars in a long time, so that wasn't really on my radar at that point. And before long, in '98, HBO's Gia would join the list. Of course, Shawshank, which I would see the year after this, would join the list and still be in my top 5. Demolition Man hung on there at number 5 for a while, though, until I started really getting into movies like Ocean's 11 and Almost Famous and Royal Tenenbaums around the end of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
This is still a great movie, though. It'd still be somewhere on my list, but I've seen a lot of movies since then. I mean, I don't have time to see as many movies now as I did when I was that age, but there's just been a lot of movies since then, you know. We're talking 30 years.
Looking through the information on Google, I have not seen an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
You don't watch True Lies with us?
No.
That's a good one. Like I say, definitely a hyper-violent 80s style action movie, even though it's from like 94. But it's also kind of a parody of that, too.
Yeah.
And there's Sandy Bullock. She's great in this. Like I know she'd done some acting before this, but this was really like her first major role, and she's fantastic in it.
Nice.
A lot of heart, humor, even brings some action later on. She's great.
I enjoy
And like
her.
I say, she's really cute in this, but watch Speed, you'll fall in love with her. Watch Speed 2, your feelings might ebb a little bit, because Speed 2 sucks. I don't know what happened. Speed is such a fantastic movie, and then they made Speed 2, and I know Keanu's not in it, like Jason Patrick's in it instead of Keanu.
Keanu.
It's hard to say that he was the glue that held it together, because she's great in Speed.
But Keanu.
Just the movie, it's poorly written and poorly executed. She's fine in the movie, but yeah, we might have to watch Speed 2 at some point just because it is really bad. And it may not be that bad, it's just that Speed is really good. So it had a lot to live up to, and they failed in that regard. Hey, now self-driving cars, we do have those to a degree. I
Yeah.
know, like Teslas can drive themselves, supposedly.
Yeah.
I heard recently,
I still couldn't trust that.
I heard recently,
Yeah.
apparently Elon Musk did his dream and his Tesla ran a red light.
I heard something about him busting in the Tesla offices claiming his car was trying to kill him.
Yeah. I also heard that,
Look, they even have automated graffiti in the future.
yeah.
We should establish, too, that this movie started out in 1996. Now we've jumped all the way to 2032. So we started out, 27 years in the past. And now we're 9 years in the future. So I still don't see this being our future in 9 years.
Yeah.
Probably not.
God forbid. This sort of a... I mean, I appreciate a society that's so safe that they haven't had a murder in 22 years.
Yeah.
But it's
That's what we
like-
talk about.
At what cost,
Yeah.
This sort of hyper-sanitized, automaton, fascist society. I mean, it's great to try to protect people, but it's a matter of who decides what they need to be protected from.
Yeah.
And it's one person making those decisions, and it's all about what they believe is right. That's when you start to fall into problems. And obviously, that's fleshed out as the movie goes on.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it going into this movie, but this movie is kind of a cyberpunk style.
Mm-hmm.
Just that kind of genre.
Nice.
And Keanu's in Cyberpunk, and he and
Ye-
Sandra Bullock were in Speed together, and she was in Demolition Man. It all ties together.
Yep.
But technically I was referring to cyberpunk the genre, not cyberpunk the game. And the
Oh,
cyberpunk
yeah,
the game is part of the cyberpunk genre.
I would hope so.
I don't see
Yes.
much. I don't see much Cyberpunk in this.
I say no, Cyberpunk, the war game.
Cyberpunk is just typically like,
I know what Cyberpunk is. You don't need to
VC.
explain it to me.
essentially just high-tech, low-life, and mega
Yeah.
corporations.
Yeah.
I just don't get that much of a vibe from this movie.
You can definitely see some of that with, like,
It's like a
all the
mild
high-tech
version
and,
of
like...
it.
I feel like you see more of that in RoboCop than you would in this, but I refuse to ever watch RoboCop again. So if you're watching that, you're gonna do it.
I heard
by
that's
yourself.
also cyberpunk.
Yeah, you could definitely see that in RoboCop.
And,
By
like,
the way.
with,
And there's the warden from Shawshank, and he's such an evil bastard in that movie. Here he's just kind of naive, and it is interesting though because it seems like he seems older to me. Maybe because he's bald, maybe because I've seen him in the role of the warden, which he started out young and aged because Shawshank takes place over like 20 years. So I'm not really sure how old the actor was, but he seems like he's old. I mean, he could be like my age now, but I'm saying even if he's my age at this point, he would have been living in the 90s. Well, close to them. He would. This real societal shift seemed to come about in the like 2011-ish.
Yeah.
So it's like he would have come from more what our world is. So it seems so strange that he's so naive to the reality.
That was a big takeaway I had from a lot of the characters in this movie. It's like, were you not around pretty close to the 90s?
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, Zachary Lamb is there. The great Bill Cobb. He points out some stuff. And even Sandra Bullock, I don't know how old she was at this point, but I mean, we're like 21 years away from the big calamity because there was apparently like a major earthquake in 2010.
I would
so
assume she was at least a kid when that
so that's what I'm saying. There's no
happened.
way she's only 20 here.
Yeah.
I mean, she's young, but I mean, she's mid-20s at least.
Yeah.
I would say. And there's Benjamin Bright, who does a good job as her naive fellow officer. First thing I ever saw him. I think he was in a couple other movies with her as well.
I was just saying, looking through Stallone's credit things on Google, I have not seen any other Stallone movies.
wow.
I'm not a huge Stallone fan. I mean,
Honestly,
I've seen
Stallone
some of the
movies.
Rocky movies. I've seen some of the Rambo movies.
I have not seen a Rocky or Rambo movie. I probably should.
Probably.
I've definitely seen Rocky 4 and Rocky 5. I've definitely seen the third Rambo, which is, First Blood Part 2? Or maybe that one's just Rocky 3. Yeah, no, because it's First Blood, then it's Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and then just Rambo 3, which I just called Rocky 3 a second ago, and nobody called me on it. I kind of appreciate that, but also, people heard it, so you might as well.
I'm just
I did
saying.
not understand why Simon was speaking Spanish here. It didn't seem like there was a large Spanish-speaking population in this future, like it was a necessity.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, he could just be fucking with the warden, but
Probably.
it was an odd choice. Maybe Snipes just knows Spanish in real life. He's like, let me try this. Snipes is fantastic as fucking Simon Phoenix. I mean, it helps to a degree that he's at least a vestige of some, even though, again, he is a maniacal sociopath and who clearly just enjoys being chaotic and evil for the sake of it. There's still some scenes where you even kind of root for him just because of the society he's woken up into, like when the police are confronting him at the ATM/ego boost computer terminal. Like, obviously, he's horrible, but I think part of it is that Wesley Snipes is just such a charismatic motherfucker, and he just puts in such a great performance, and clearly he's having a good time here, playing it up over the top.
But,
I wish I knew.
but my question is, why the frick did he get parole hearing before
Probably because the doctor, Raymond Cocteau or whatever, was pulling the strings, because he basically made him into a super soldier to assassinate Edgar Friendly, who doesn't seem like... Look, I'm sure he's a cunning guy, but did you really need all this to go after him? You really couldn't find somebody just toned down a little bit?
Yeah, that's saying earlier, with the cyberpunk thing, it definitely has the high-tech and the...
And here's where Loki got his inspiration from. Pulling out the eyeball to get through the retinal scanner.
The underground people, I don't know what they call them. That kind of...
They're referred to dismissively as the scraps.
Ah.
I'm sure they don't refer to themselves as that unless they're like, we're taking it back, we're the scraps.
But you can kind of see some of the low life in there, and in Mega Corporation you see Taco Bell.
Yeah, 187 California Penal Code for murder. That would become very popular in hip-hop songs around this time.
Interesting.
Why did they say murder, death, kill in this movie?
Because they're sort of naive and sheltered, and just to play that up.
It's very odd.
Look at Bill Cobbs. Look at that facial work. She's just like, I ain't got nothing to say, but I'm gonna make this scene cool. Bill's the man. When I was young and getting into screenwriting, I always wanted to work with Bill. That would have been a bucket list item for me.
Nice.
I used to try to write a role for Sandra Bullock in the first movie I wrote. That became something completely different. It started out being like sort of futuristic, nihilistic, fighting the New World Order kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, so cyberpunk.
And then became like a wacky college sex comedy. So... I don't know what happened there exactly, but...
Turned from cyberpunk to...
Cybersex.
Oh, God.
Cyberpunk to cyberfuck. That didn't work so well, I apologize. Yo, look at those Sega CD graphics. Tell me that doesn't look like that to you, like some early PlayStation. Yeah. FMV, man!
Something I noticed, in the cyberpunk genre, you do see a lot of the kind of punk part of it. But with something like steampunk, it's literally just this, but what if it was steam-powered?
Yeah.
You don't see much punk
Steampunk's
there.
a cool aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, that says Pamela. Pamela A. I swear that's a dude.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at the one in the middle. That's an interesting
Dude
moment.
named Pamela.
Yep.
I mean, it could be a last name. A could be their first name, or their first initial.
I love steampunk. Steampunk is awesome.
Yeah, steampunk's cool.
I probably like it more than cyberpunk. There's not that much steampunk content.
I can co-sign that.
Yeah. Mikey decided to visit us and just
It's
discovered
Phoenix.
water bottles.
I don't know many other punk genres. I'm sure there's plenty.
You know, Bill Cobb's getting one of his moments to shine. I say, always welcome. Often played the wise old man in movies around this time. The elder statesman.
Older statesman?
This deal right here with the microchips that everybody's encoded with.
Uh-huh.
Thought that was funny at the time.
Little less so now.
Well, like 2 years later, I read an article where people were forecasting like one world government, New World Order type stuff, including microchipping everybody to keep up with them. You start thinking about all the possibilities for control and like,
Yeah.
if they don't like what you're doing, what they could lock you out of. Yeah, it's kind of a scary thought. So,
Yeah.
as much as I love this movie, as funny as I thought it was when I first
That
saw it,
part's less funny.
it was very, you know,
Like I said, more cyberpunk stuff.
it was not as lighthearted to me a couple years down the road. And nowadays, with 30 years behind me, we certainly haven't reached that point yet. We always still could. It's still a concern, but I can still take it just for a fun movie as well, you know.
It's like, on the surface, this movie does not look cyberpunk. But if you look deeper, it's like, oh yeah, it could be. Very much.
There's a book series that I enjoyed that was probably cyberpunk.
What book series?
I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Give me a second and
Some book series that's
pull up my
probably
library because I read it digitally.
I love the way these naive future cops are like, oh, we can track the car. We're going to get him now. He just murdered like 8 people and broke out of our high security prison, but we're going to stop him because we can figure out where he is. We got this.
I wonder if the game Cyberpunk was named...
She's so fucking cute.
Was named after the genre, or the genre was named after the game.
I think the game was named after the genre. I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure I'd heard Cyberpunk before the game.
I know
Don't quote me on that, but
I know the kind of whole Cyberpunk genre style is kind of based on a book called The Neuromancer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like Cyberpunk and...
Look at the rotating street sign there. That's got to be inconvenient if it's in the wrong spot when you're coming up to it.
The word cyberpunk...
I'm sorry, I'm stopped. Stop honking at me. I want to see what road I'm on.
The word cyberpunk was coined in 1982.
Yes.
Look.
It was
Before the
used
game.
in a title.
6 years before Cyberpunk, the role-playing game.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't familiar with like a tabletop game. I thought you were referring to the current video game. I'm sorry.
Nah, Cyberpunk was originally a tabletop game in 1988. And
Interesting.
then it had a bunch of different iterations, and then 2077 is a kind of adaptation of it.
This keypad here looks like a knockoff 90s video game controller. Like something nerd would have reviewed.
Those
on
graphics do not look great on
Look,
the
the
computer.
keypad looks like something the AVGN would have reviewed on his like NES accessories video or something.
Yeah.
It totally looks like a knockoff controller. I mean, they look fine. You could see something having that. I mean, again, this was 1993. Nobody knew exactly what stuff was going to look like 30 years later. Give them a break.
It's like somehow future movies always underestimate and overestimate the future.
Very
Yeah,
much.
but I mean, at the same time, you can only do so much. I can't create graphics from 20 years in the future now. I mean,
The book
It
was
was
called
funny.
The Unseen.
The Unseen.
I find it interesting that Wesley Snipes has 2 earrings in his right ear and 1 in his left ear. Around this time, it would have been, I mean, before this, we had that unfortunate stigma of, if you wear an earring in your right ear, you're gay. And so even people like me who had both ears pierced, usually would have it heavier on the left side. Like, I have 2 holes in my left ear and 1 on my right ear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting. I wonder if that was a conscious choice, or that's just what Wesley Snipes happened to have, or he was wearing 4 rings and lost one of them or something. I don't know.
Actually, Judge
Woke up this morning.
Dredd was a
Go
bit
get
earlier in the
yourself a gun.
cyberpunk genre.
I've
It
not
was
seen,
before the Neuromancer.
I have not seen the Stallone version of Judge Dredd, but I have often quoted the "I am the law" part of it.
Yeah, apparently it was
Because I
originally-
enjoy doing the Stallone impression. Whether anybody else enjoys it or not, I can't say.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine how many credits we'd lose if we really had public statutes against indecency? For just saying stuff like fuck.
That's my
Too
favorite running
many.
joke in this movie.
You think so?
And even during, just during a later scene, he says it and you can just, hear it off screen.
Yeah, look, this movie is funny, man. I mean, it's hyper violent, and it actually has some serious, deep messages in it, but it's fucking funny too, man. It checks all the boxes, man.
It's probably the most recurring gag in this movie.
Look, it's Ralph Garman. It's not really, but damn, it looks like Ralph. Does it not? Like if Ralph put on a little bit of weight, or if he bulked up a little bit.
Yeah. There's one moment where somebody cusses or whatever,
scared.
and you can hear the thing just so quietly go off, in the background,
I
that
just
little
mentioned
detail. I didn't fully hear what you said.
Of course, I think the most iconic running gag in this movie is going to be the 3 seashells.
Yeah.
Which 30 years later, we still don't know how they work. I mean, come
I
on.
don't know.
Apparently, Stallone
It's so
and
frustrating,
Sandra
though.
Bullock sort of gave ideas in interviews. But
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think they know.
Nothing.
either.
I have some
Explain.
thoughts, like maybe one's for scooping, one's for washing, one's for drying, but that seems a little too simple.
You think at this point, they just have, ultra bidet?
I mean, I get the idea was to come up with something that would seem very strange to somebody from our time and not to explain it. I understand that, but it's still frustrating to the point, damn, I want to know. That's literally the last line of the movie. It's how does 3 seashells work?
Yeah.
These cops are so incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cops.
They're much less violent.
How do we like the
Yeah.
the baggy overalls and the combat boots, but with the orange mesh tank top underneath?
It's a choice.
It's a look. It almost looks like a construction vest or something.
Where did you get that outfit?
That's a good question.
Did they get it from the cryo lab?
Who knows?
I guess, because nobody really dresses like that.
I think I
in
might
this
saw the
future.
symbol on the, overalls or whatever.
Yeah, that would make sense, even though we don't really see anybody wearing
Yeah,
that.
see?
Yeah. And that definitely could be some sort of a caution shirt. Because it's not the clothes he was wearing when he got chilled.
Yeah.
You would think, anyway. It's not what someone carried him out of the building wearing.
I was say it's not what he was wearing when he was arrested.
Well, I can tell you he probably wasn't wearing anything when he got chilled.
That's what I was trying to get at.
The scene right here where he pulls out the camera and he sings the last few lines of in the home of the brave, and then he says, "Play ball," and he shorts out the camera. And I gotta think too, they lose cameras for several blocks. Are there no redundancies in this system? In the future, that just everything's tied together. One goes down, that's it.
Yep.
But anyway,
They simplified
my thing is, for years, And someone even said, he said play ball, and I disagree. I thought he said blip off, because he was turning it off. That's what it sounded like to me. I get the play ball after the national anthem makes sense, but...
I wasn't sure what
I swear he said blip off. Oh my god, that's pure capacitance gel. Everybody knows that's just going to explode if you apply electricity to it.
Yep.
Kaboom. Yeah. What's with the Chiefs glasses? Have you noticed they have like the main frame and there's like a little arch over the top as well?
Future
kind of a neat style though. I don't think there's any function to it. I think it's just aesthetic, but I kind of like it. Nigel Hawthorne playing the wickedly evil Dr. Cocteau. Great performance.
Evil.
Has he got a CD on his shirt?
It looks like it.
This is my disc. This is my private porn. I'm the only one who's allowed to. I'm doing a terrible Nigel Hawthorne impression. It is strange that he's British, though, and he's like the ruler of the now San Angeles, the Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Diego Metroplex.
Yeah.
Which, here's the one question I have about this movie, besides the 3 seashells. This is like all, based around this one area. And it's a relatively large area, I'll accept, but it's still just part of a state.
Yeah.
What is the rest of the world like? It's hard to...
Nobody knows.
It seems like it's all based around this lifestyle in San Angeles.
Yes.
And then you have these people who are like living underground to get away from this fascism, but it's like, what's the rest of the country like? They never really speak about that.
It was destroyed in the earthquake.
I don't think the earthquake would take out the entire country, much less the entire world.
No, I don't know about the rest of the world.
The earthquake.
Yeah, the earthquake was huge.
Oh, look, and there's Otho from Beetlejuice playing.
Is that
Otho
one
from
earthquake
Beetlejuice.
from that one movie?
The tectonic plates went ham.
Yeah, the big one.
That is the question. And even later on, there's going to be a scene coming up where they're questioning how Simon Phoenix was taken down originally, and Bill Cobb, as Zachary Lamb, is going on about all the stuff they did to try to catch him, including like a 12-state manhunt. But it sure seemed like he was just based in Los Angeles. Like, why did they ever go to other states? It seemed like that was his little kingdom that he created for himself, his personal fiefdom.
He did that after the 12-state manhunt.
I suppose, but it's just... And then again, wasn't Spartan just an LA cop? Was he even on his radar until he came there? And if not, how did Zachary Lamb even know about this 12-state manhunt if he was just a local... It's a very weird dichotomy of being completely localized, but there has to be a world outside of this, but they never acknowledge it, and if there is it so radically different from this? Because it seems like this is all based around this one community.
Yeah, don't put much everything.
So if you think too much about it, that's a little tough to swallow.
I know most things in Cyberpunk are based around Night City.
Yeah, I was going to say, another question would be, location-wise, is how secluded, isolated, whatever this area is from everything else.
Yeah, I mean,
and how
have a major earthquake, I guess pieces could break off, but that's what I'm saying. It seems
California,
like the wider world has to be like this, but they always talk about it like it's just this community. I mean, even later on when they talk about Taco Bell being the last standing restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like, is that just in this part of California?
Apparently, either California just went off in the ocean, or California did manage to separate from the U.S. And then this happened.
I spent a lot of my life hearing how when the big one hit, California was just going to break off into the ocean.
Yeah.
I was going to say, really, out of all the restaurants, Taco Bell survived, but then remember, they do have Bar Blast.
I like the fact that the police officers now have the first 3 initials of their acronym is SAP. That seems appropriate. Oh, here we go. There's that FMV again.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, the new Sega CD looking tight.
Yo.
This was 93. This would have predated pretty much everything. Genesis and Super Nintendo would have been out. I don't even know if Sega CD was out at this point, because PlayStation would have come out the next year, I think. Maybe 95. PlayStation might have actually been 95.
When did Sega CD come out?
I'm not sure, because I never had one. I didn't even have a Genesis until like 96 or 97. I was a Nintendo kid.
Sega CD... Going to the Wikipedia page.
I love the fact that Huxley has a katana on her wall back there. I mean, they joke about her having all this contraband in her office.
Very simple.
Like, firearms are all illegal and only exist in museums, but she's just got daggers back there and a freaking katana behind her.
Sega CD was 91.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know it was that early.
Well, 91 in Japan, 92 in America.
The first PlayStation, like I said, I think is 94, and that's the first... I know the TurboGrafx 16, they had a CD-based console. I can't remember what was the TurboGrafx called in Japan? Do you remember?
No.
It was a TurboGrafx 16 over here. I know in Japan there was a disc drive version of it as well, but really the PlayStation was the first widely available disc-based console. Well, I mean CDI, but again, widely available.
Here's the Stallone ice cube.
Here's the Stallone.
Put it in your lemonade.
In an ice cube. And they're gonna melt him so he can't come
20 minutes
fight.
ago, but I was trying to fit in another comment to try and
my
tell
song,
you.
I guess.
Look, I just said I've been trying to say this for like 20 minutes now. But that book was the Freelancer series, is what it was
5
called.
minutes ago at best.
It's like at least 10 minutes ago.
It's been like 20 minutes since we've seen Stallone.
But it's just described as a futuristic sci-fi young adult novel.
And it says plasma transfer. I guess they're actually putting blood into his body because I guess this is all frozen or something, but it doesn't seem to be hooked up to anything to get the plasma.
No.
He's got like a few little, digital neurotransmitters or something connected to him, but nothing that would actually transfer fluids.
Yeah. I do not know how it's supposed to look.
I don't know, maybe you need to ask a plumber. Because you know what plumbers do, right? They lay pipe. And fluid can go through pipes. Yeah, see? Maybe they use the plumber.
Do they cryogenically freeze people?
Maybe. It shows you an arm and a leg. Look, damn it, I just went to the well for the lay pipe joke. Y'all gotta have something for this scene. I can't go right back to it.
I'm sorry.
There's not much to the scene yet.
The guards behind them have that same logo on their jumpsuits, but nobody's wearing overalls, so I'm still not sure where he got the overalls.
Maybe it's an older fashion.
How do you feel about the trash bag get up he's got on? The same one we saw him wearing when he came for a sentencing.
Yeah.
I thought someone would comment on it, but nobody did, so I felt like I should.
I apologize. It's something.
It is. Indeed.
Some large badges they've got.
What's going
Almost
on?
earth
Yeah.
shaped. What's up, dude?
What's going on that screen?
I don't know. Maybe we'll get a shot of it again. I have no idea. I think it's El Nino. It's probably really bad by 2032.
Starts talking about having a wife and whatnot.
Yep.
That was kind of sad.
It's funny how literal everybody is in the future. How they, how they speak with full names and they don't really have slang or sarcasm.
Yeah.
They're very literal with everything they say. Which is another one of the running jokes.
Why was the earthquake ran together, Beth?
Nobody
earthquake.
knows.
Thearquake. It sounds like a Norse god or something. Thearquake! God of earthquakes.
No, but I was reading something about this movie between watching it earlier and recording this podcast. Apparently they did write and film it. It just got cut because one of us wanted to show it one time.
I mean, this movie is almost 2
It turns
hours.
out that she's one of the people that we see with Edgar and whatnot.
Ah.
That's cool. That would have been a nice little...
Yeah.
We need like a director's cut of the movie.
God damn it!
Talk, I'm going to see if there's such a thing.
Okay.
I sadly don't think there was a director's cut.
Probably not.
Well, there could be like a DVD with some bonus scenes or something.
That
Yeah.
would be it. I mean, clearly somebody had to put something.
Despite the fact this
for
was
that
one of my
to be
favorite
done.
movies, I've never gotten this on digital. I still have my VHS of it though.
Nice.
Not one that I record. I have a pre-recorded copy of it down in the basement. I was tempted to
One
dig
you
it.
actually purchased.
Yeah, I was tempted to dig it out today too. And maybe not for the commentary, but when we actually watched it, have us watch it. I thought that would have been really fun.
It would have been very nice to see more about his daughter.
Yeah, I also heard that.
Because it's like we hear about it twice and then never...
Yeah.
There's a lot packed into this movie though.
Honestly, when we first watched it, it felt kind of weird when we got to the end and like he's happy and things are going on. It's like, dude, what about your daughter?
Well, I mean, there's obviously...
It makes a lot more
There's the
sense knowing
insinuation
that.
of there being a future for him. It's not like he just stopped living at that point.
Yeah, but it makes a
Depends
little
on
more
that
sense now knowing that he was originally supposed to meet her and whatnot.
I found the Blu-ray of it. I'm not seeing anything about bonus material. Hold on.
Damn.
I'm looking still.
I also heard that earlier this year, Stallone said that they were in very early production of trying to make a Demolition Man 2.
At this point?
Yep.
He's gonna demolish his bones trying to act out some of these scenes. It's gonna be like all CGI. Is AI gonna do this movie for him? I
gosh.
mean, damn.
How old is Stallone?
He's gotta be 60 by now.
Hold up, I had his
I mean,
page up
Rocky
a
was
minute
like,
ago.
what, 77?
Let's see, Sylvester Stallone is 77 years old.
Holy fuck,
God.
see? He's even older than I suggested.
Maybe he's just really good, healthy for his age.
I mean, he probably is. I'm not impugning the man's health. I'm sure he's in fantastic
Is he
condition.
older than
but-
Arnold?
Okay.
Nice.
And Arnold seems to be in pretty good shape for his age.
I'm not saying they're not.
He was in a Terminator movie a couple years ago.
I mean, he couldn't be the main. You'd have to have new characters in it.
Yeah,
though.
Probably.
Especially since he's so.
It'd be
much
tough
older.
to. It would be tough to make a sequel to this movie. To be fair,
Yeah.
you'd have to completely redo society. And I mean, what's the hook then? Phoenix is gone. I mean,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
see what some of the characters have become.
This is very much intended to be a one-off movie.
You could definitely look. You could do it. Don't get me wrong. Somebody creative could do
But
it. I feel like I could do it.
Will be a challenge.
But would it still have the same spirit as the original? It'd be tough to recapture that. That's all I'm saying.
We're at the point of the shells and the toilet paper and all. I just wanted to say something that I found kind of funny.
Wait. I gotta point this out though. In just a second, someone's gonna be like, "I'm happy that you're happy." I've misquoted that for years. I've always, anytime I feel like responding to somebody's responses, and I'll be like, "I'm happy you're happy." If y'all ever hear me say that, that's exactly where this came from. Also later on when he's like, "Uno momentito, señorita Huxley." If I gotta tell somebody, wait a minute, I'll pull that out.
Nice.
Infinitely quotable movie to me. But anyway, what were you saying?
I was saying something that I found kind of funny is we're watching this on a Fire TV, so we saw some ad things on the home screen. We got an ad for toilet paper prior to watching this movie.
That's hilarious. Guess you don't know how you use 3 seashells.
No, I don't believe our society has figured that out quite yet.
Do you think in this society she sells seashells by the seashore?
I like his solution for getting some toilet paper.
Yeah.
Although to be
Yeah.
fair, that stuff's just gonna clog up the toilet.
Yeah.
That's not gonna break apart. in
He
the
does
water
not
very
care.
easily. I mean, I don't blame him if you can't figure out the seashells.
You know, all the
you want a
things
clean ass.
they've
My question is though,
done,
did he already
changed,
shit
etc.
and he's just walking around with like shit in his ass, or did he just hold it in because he couldn't? He saw the seashells like, I'm not gonna be able to deal with this. I'm just gonna have to hold it. And now he's like, nah, I can let it out. And you know, he'll flush the paper down and he'll let the plumbers worry about it because you know what plumbers do, right? They don't clog toilets and lay pipe.
My question is all the things they've
What?
done,
Like
changed,
the
etc.
Newton crate or whatever?
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
They're still using regular paper.
Yeah.
I would think they would have changed that at some point too.
True, but I mean, then you couldn't have that.
If it ain't
gag.
broke,
Yeah.
don't fix it.
I mean, they probably put that in
It is
literally.
broke, though.
I mean, for one thing, don't in 1993, I don't think we foresaw a time when paper would be almost obsolete.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you need it for that gag anyway.
Yeah.
You need something to make up for.
You know, I get
Look,
it.
they're
from
like,
that
we can't
point.
explain the seashells.
But
What are we gonna
within
do
the
about it?
world.
I know. If when people curse, they get a citation, and it's actually a physical paper citation, then he can pull it out and he can wipe his ass with that. Brilliant. Put it down. And we never have to explain the fucking seashells.
Favorite one in gag movie though.
You know, as a person who likes to swear, it always bugged me. I'm not gonna lie.
I just find it funny.
You know, I think that's a generational thing. Your generation is a lot less angry than mine.
Don't worry,
That's
I too love to swear. I just find it fucking hilarious.
I mean,
Based
don't get me
solely
wrong.
on memes, Stallone would be Gen X, the New Society would be Gen Z.
I know. Look, don't get me wrong. Oh, come on, give yourselves more credit than that. You guys are
Except
way.
based solely on
You
memes.
guys are way more anti-fascism, anti-authority
Definitely.
than this society. But
Definitely.
I'm just saying. I feel like, I don't know. I'm a little more aggro than you.
We're the people in the sewer.
I tend to take things more personally than you do. Oh, dude, if I was in the society, I'd totally be down there with Edgar.
Definitely.
I feel like Edgar did not get that much screen time in this movie.
No.
I think this scene they were sort of setting up there with the excavated street scene from Los Angeles back before the earthquake, and then to have them the guys from that time fight it out, and I think that's a brilliant set piece.
Yeah.
And I love the script back there on the Hall of Violence, even though it just says All of Violence, which I may have, that framing may be intentional.
Probably. Very interesting cars.
I like the
They look
water.
very-
I mean, it's real water with real light shining off of it, but it looks nice. Don't I always comment on video games when they have nice water in the graphics?
Honestly, I don't like
Good
that.
water graphics on push.
Oh,
I don't like.
I like this where it's like, no, let me drive. Maybe being a little sexist, like I'm the dude, I gotta drive, but at the same time, it's got a really nice payoff. Gets in, adjusts his John Lennon glasses, like, what the fuck? No, you drive. This movie's funny as hell, man. I don't care what anybody says. Really good mix of stuff in it. Like, you wouldn't think a big, bombastic, hyper-violent, late 80s, early 90s style action movie would have this many layers to it. But it really does. It works on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
It's a really well done piece of business.
I agree.
I'm not saying it's an absolute classic or compares to, other cinema of the past, present, or future, but, don't underrate it. Give it a shot. There's a lot going on here. Oh, this is my favorite running joke in the movie, is the fact they listen to all these ad jingles, like their popular music.
I feel like
oh my god, this was so funny at the time.
I feel like this also qualifies to cyberpunk.
These ad jingles all have stuck in my head since this movie.
Cyberpunkish?
No, Fallout is Fallout.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic, I guess.
Yeah, you see, there's no a big government or capitalism to take down Fallout.
Look, it's the board.
There's a couple people here and there, but there's not enough community for it, really. I mean, Fallout is also kind of anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
But it's like there's not that much capitalist left.
That dude in the wall for no reason.
It's a little too... It has some elements, but it leans too much into the apocalyptic thing.
Yeah, it's very much more post-apocalypse than cyberpunk.
Apocalyptic, get bent.
And it's also...
control the
it isn't really...
Got it lifted.
It's like it's kind of futuristic, but it's like 1950s futuristic.
It's futuristic, but based on 50s. And that sort of utopia style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the reaction there when he hurts his hand trying to break through the glass.
Yeah.
And then throws some nice kicks. Snipes was stretching, man. Look at that. I can't get my leg that high.
I was gonna ask soon where they got all the ammo from, but now I see in the cases, these have a bunch of ammo laid out.
Yep. Nobody said they made the smartest decisions.
You think they will make...
I just noticed Snipes has got the same little V to the top of his hair that Otho does. I wonder if that was intentional.
I do not.
Couple questions.
That outfit reminds me of the school uniforms.
Couple things.
First, for the French school in Harry Potter.
I thought you were going to say Hunger Games. But I'm like, that's perfect. But, oh, look at that sawed off.
A couple things. First, you think they make a bulletproof glass? Second, can you really get that much more force from throwing someone than just punching?
I mean, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of mass.
Yeah, true, but...
If you can get it going fast enough...
How hard can you really throw them?
Who knows? He seemed pretty
strong.
A lot more concentrated forces are like your fist or your kick.
Have you seen Hunger Games yet?
Putting your full body power.
I have no intention to ever see it. I only got so much time, so I'm very, very picky about what I spend my time
And here's a railgun.
I watch all these movies.
It's like, it doesn't call it a railgun, but it's a magnetic accelerator, so it's a railgun.
You regrettably saw some of Hunger Games.
Just blows them a fucking way with that shotgun. Oh my god.
I like shotguns.
I just did one of my pet peeves. I hate when people break up the word another. They're like a whole nother something. You can't break up the fucking word. You would say a whole other something. And I just totally did that when I said blows them a fucking way.
I was gonna say, what if you put in a word like fucking or something like that?
It's still incorrect. I'm completely wrong for what I said too.
Really don't like it even in that case?
Yeah, it bugs me.
I did that the other day.
There's no word in the English language that's nother.
That's fact.
That wasn't.
It just bugs me, I'm sorry.
It also wasn't a yeet in the English.
Accepting the fact that a pet peeve is something that you're going to be petty about, hence the word pet in the title. That's one of my pet peeves. Nother is not a fucking word.
And he referenced Rambo here, which implies that Stallone still exists. So I guess...
Well, Schwarzenegger exists in this continuity. I mean, he's not Sylvester Stallone. He is John Spartan.
He's just a Stallone
sound like Stallone.
Yeah.
Which is completely believable. I mean, they say everybody has a doppelganger out there.
That would have been hilarious if someone in this movie was like, you look just like Stallone.
And then again, to be fair... This could be an alternate reality where somebody else played Rambo.
True. Arnold
was Rambo, or Bruce Willis, or Dolph Lundgren, or Steven Seagal, or Jean-Claude Van Damme, any one of the other, 80s action heroes. Maybe Carl Weathers was Rambo. Maybe we had a black Rambo. Why can't we have a black Rambo, damn it? You got something wrong with that?
And I just want to say, out of all the Stallone movies...
I just said you got something wrong. I feel bad about that. Can we rewind?
Which one do you think would be best to replace Stallone with Arnold in?
Arnold played Rambo.
Throw Mama from the train.
I don't know what.
I just want to come up with something. No, what was it? Is it Oscar? There's a Stallone movie where he plays like a mobbed up dude or something. Mm-hmm. Very esoteric. I went to see it in the theaters. My friend I saw it with didn't understand it. I'm not sure I understood it that much. Something like that. That'd be funny.
And now the reverse. Which Arnold movie would
Wait,
you put
was he even
Stallone
in Throw Mama from the Train? I know Danny DeVito was. Maybe that's not a Stallone. No. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. That's the Stallone movie. But they had like Estelle Getty from the Golden Girls as his mom.
But which...
Who's
Arnold-
Tango and Cash? Was that Kurt Russell and Stallone?
I have no idea.
I feel like I'm failing on my 80s movie knowledge. Who's in Throw Mama from the Train? I want to look that up. I think it was DeVito and somebody, but I don't think it was Stallone.
I was gonna say, talking about Stallone playing Rambo and looking like him, I see a lot of memes pointing out how in the MCU we see the list has like Star Wars or something showing us that those exist within the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, and nobody's gonna
Billy
comment
Crystal?
on Nick Fury looking like Mace Windu.
Billy Crystal's a dick.
Thor dating Padme. Yeah. Why did I
read half of Billy Crystal's book. I let it go when he was coming down on people who have a lot of tattoos. But then when he started complaining about fat people being like, there's a lot of starving people in the world. It's like, people aren't fucking fat because they ate all the food and kept it from starving people. Fuck you, you fucking insolent little dick.
Wait, who were we talking about just now?
Billy Crystal.
I don't know who that is.
I threw the book away after that. I mean, I only paid $1 for it at the
Sure,
dollar
bind
store,
it.
so...
It would look cool.
Here we go. They're going to fall down into the street scene. I think this is a brilliant piece of staging.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it really pays off, but the concept is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fine action scene, don't get me wrong, but...
It's shocking he doesn't get shot more in this movie.
People suck at aiming in this movie.
All the encoding they gave him, all the skills they gave him, he can't shoot for shit.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many times these people they don't even get nicked or anything. Not a single bullet enters anyone.
Yeah.
Like one person gets shot in the movie. No, a couple people get shot.
Well, he
but
blew away a couple people in the museum.
yeah, it's like
plenty of people get shot, just
no
not the main
main characters get shot.
Yeah.
no major character.
That's action movie plot armor. What do you want?
Not a single bullet.
Not any of the main good guys.
I'm just saying, okay, we saw them fight early on. He clearly did not have these martial arts skills.
Uh-huh.
Okay, mentally you can train him, but he's been frozen in ice. He's not going to be that flexible coming right out of the ice like that. It's going to take some time to stretch and get your muscles worked out like that.
That's what
Well, how
you
long
think.
has he been out by this point?
A while.
A few hours? If you weren't that flexible going in and you sat there in ice for 30 years,
Yeah.
you're not going to be that flexible coming out.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, this is my least favorite part in the whole movie. I'm not gonna lie here, where he puts the stun baton into the water and starts to shock him, and he just blasts him out. I'm pretty sure that should have killed him.
Effects.
He jumped out very
maybe.
quickly.
Maybe the rubber-soled boots would have insulated him somewhat, but I mean,
Oh, he's just psycho
it's a
enough.
little
Well, how
speechless to
many
me.
volts is it? Because it only like knocks people out.
Yeah, but it's magnified. I know water's not a great conductor, but there's probably going to be impurities in it that make it a better conductor.
Uh-huh.
Which is why, electricity can travel through water so well.
Yeah.
So you gotta... And plus, it showed him it blasting him out of the water onto the hood of the
That's
car.
him jumping so he didn't get electrified too much.
That's the stiffest leg jump I've ever seen, bro.
Yeah.
And as I was saying earlier,
What is Otho carrying there? Is that his briefcase? It looks like Flava Flav's clock.
and as I was saying earlier, which
And what are the odds that they just happen to walk by the place that Phoenix is coming out of?
100%. Which Arnold movie would you put? Wait, did I say that?
I didn't even get. I didn't. Wait. I didn't even get to what if Arnold was in Rocky? He was like, "Yo, Adrian, I did it." I mean, an immigrant boxer, that would make sense.
He gives very Pope vibes in this scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, here you start to see some things at play here. For some reason, Phoenix can't shoot Cocteau there.
He still has a CD on him.
Look, bro, he's fond of 90s media. For all he tried to get away from the barbaric 90s, he still got a soft spot for some of it. Okay, Stallone and an Arnold flick. What's something really... Kindergarten Cop? It's not a tumor. Or Twin... Or Junior, when he has the fucking baby. No, I've never bothered to watch that. Twins is a great movie. Him and DeVito and Twins, fantastic. Him and DeVito and Junior, maybe not.
I definitely would not see Stallone in something like Terminator.
Jingle All the Way, where he and Sinbad are fighting over the Christmas toy.
No offense, I don't think Stallone would be a great Terminator.
No, Arnold is perfect in that fucking movie.
Though it...
Which is why Terminator 2 is such a shitty fucking sequel, because they take this badass killer Terminator, now he's the good guy.
But now, I could see...
He was even offered the role of Kyle Reese. He's like, no, I want to be the bad guy. And then it's like, second time around, alright, I'll be the good guy.
But But I could see someone like a Stallone and Kyle Reese's role against Arnold as the Terminator.
Well, maybe back then. Like, if you look at him here in Demolition Man, he does not look like the plucky underdog.
Yeah.
Maybe Rocky era, okay, maybe. Which, I mean, 84, that's like nearly a decade out from Rocky, but yeah, okay, I can see that. I don't think they even did it. Stallone and Schwarzenegger were friends in Hollywood in the 80s. And, like, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Bruce Willis were all, like, co-founders of the Hollywood Cafe, which is sort of like the Hard Rock Cafe, but for movie props and stuff. But I don't think they ever did a movie together until one of the Expendables sequels.
I haven't
The
seen
Expendables were the sort of throwback to the hyper-violent 80s action movies that Stallone did with a bunch. And there's, like, Dolph Lundgren, all the guys I was naming earlier show up in them. Nice. At one point or another, and I know Schwarzenegger shows up in one of the sequels. I've never gotten around to watching them because, again, I'm not really an action movie guy anymore unless it's like a Marvel movie.
I love action movies.
I'm not a big action movie guy. That was my bread and butter in the 80s, early 90s, but then I got into independent cinema, and ever since then I'm like, yeah. Like, really good comic book movie, okay, I'm into that, but...
I also couldn't see Stallone in,
I mean, if there's a lightsaber involved, okay, that's something else. But...
I couldn't see Stallone in Commando either.
Oh, fuck Commando, what a great movie.
Maybe in Predator.
No, fuck you. Yeah, you get to the chopper.
Taco Bell. Get to the Taco Bell.
To Taco Bell.
Maybe I could see him Commando.
No, fuck you. Stallone as John Matrix? Come on.
I don't know, it's just Stallone. Kind of like in Demolition Man.
Dude, the scene where he's looting the Army Navy store to get his supplies, and then when he suits up on the beach. Dude, iconic 80s action movie Nirvana right there.
Definitely wouldn't be nearly as good as Arnold, though.
Look, I'm not a huge Stallone fan, but I'm not a Stallone hater either. He's very good in multiple roles, this one being one of them.
Arnold is just perfect as the Terminator.
Arnold was my favorite actor when I was a kid. I mean, obviously I had lower standards because he's one of those personality actors, He's not a great actor, but he's a big personality. Yeah. And he's good at being Arnold in a movie.
And he's good as the Terminator.
Arnold was my guy as a kid, don't get me wrong.
It's like name one bad person who could play the Terminator.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Corey Feldman, those are my dudes in the 80s.
No one can play the Terminator better than Arnold.
I don't know. Terminator ended for me after the first one. They fucked it up. The second one's fine. It's a good action movie.
I want to see all the other ones.
The T-1000's cool, but I don't know. The first one is something special.
Yeah. I want to see...
That unstoppable killer stalking them, that sense of menace and dread. Like, you just... Stuff to beat. That's a big fucking moon.
Yeah. It's like I kind of want to see... Terminator like 3 and 4. I don't think I want to see Terminator 5. Was it Terminator Genesis? I think it's called.
The one where John Connor becomes the villain.
Yeah. Not sure if I want to see 4 even.
I do want to see the most recent one. I know it did.
Dark Fate.
I know people said it wasn't as good as it should have been, but I want to give it a chance at least.
I believe it's a direct sequel to number 2.
Yeah. But even number 2 fucks with the continuity.
Yeah. Like, alright, we're gonna send just you through and then destroy it.
Yeah, and we can't stop Judgment Day, but let's stop it. Even though we can't stop it, as it turns out later, but...
And it's like, they send them through, and then it's like, and then they're like, I think we should send another one back to this point. Let's get this reprogrammed T-800 we have. Because we have like 5 of those lying around.
Okay, we've only got time to send 1 man and 1 Terminator through. So let's send like 16 men and like 400 Terminators through. I don't know if anybody ever... I don't think... Do any people go back besides Kyle Reese?
No, it's Kyle Reese.
It's like Kyle Reese like a million fucking Terminators. There's still Terminators out there people don't know about. It's like every week a new Terminator's going back. They're all over history now. It's like... Lincoln freed the slaves? Nah, it was a fucking Terminator.
Back in the Roman Empire, Terminator.
Julius Terminator.
One of Jesus' disciples, Terminator.
You sad, pathetic man. See what you have brought us to? Our ideals, they die around us, and it's all because of you. By the way, I'm in a Terminator. Terminator.
Do you say a Terminator? Like a Terminator attorney?
No, I said a Terminator.
Ace of Terminator.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Terminator.
One of the Terminators becomes a lawyer.
That's a short dress she's got on.
Yeah.
There's Dan. Oh god, what was his last name? He was a VJ on MTV. And did commercials and... wore bandanas. Kind of an inspiration. Not really, but... Valley of the Jolly Green. That's my favorite running joke. Is the jingles as pop songs.
I'm not seeing a single taco here.
In my opinion.
No, I think they're not living up to their moniker anymore.
They best have Baja Blast though.
I say, remember every
single one of those cups better be filled with Baja
What is with the
Blast.
fucking mariachi band sleeves on the waiters, though? I mean, goddamn.
Whatever he was.
I guess it's on brand for a pseudo-Mexican restaurant.
Some of that's gonna fall off and get in your food, you know it.
Possibly. I say, whatever
All
he
those
was
are filled with Baja
served
Blast,
looked
I'm
like
telling
a deconstructed, fancy joke of a taco meal.
It totally looks like some sort of modern, cordon bleu cuisine.
Do you think they have like fancy Taco Bells,
Something
like
they'd be
fast
serving
food
on
Taco
Iron
Bells?
Chef.
Actually, no, they probably don't have any of the fast food stuff because they say this stuff
Everything
is bad for you, and bad for you is illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just found out there that salt is illegal. Which, I mean, I think you need salt to live.
Yeah.
Like, an overabundance of it is bad, granted, but I think you need some of it.
This food just sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, no mortars,
the idea.
But... Look, there may be no mortars, but I can't have salt!
It's like peace, but at what cost,
Yeah.
Like, any shred of personal freedom is completely out the window. Like, there's got to be... Like, we can all agree that lack of murder is a very good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But, there's got to be some middle ground where we can all coexist peacefully and still be able to make our own choices. As long as we're not hurting somebody, who are you to decide what's good for everybody else?
Like, look, we don't have motors, but we have some sort of deficiency.
We don't have motors, but we want them, please! I can't stand living like this!
Somebody needs to die, damn it!
I need my fried chicken! Jimmy can die if I get fried chicken!
No, I wasn't going that. I was like, just kill me! I don't want to be here anymore! What is she? Is she a waitress? Because, I mean, the guys with the mariachi sleeves were bringing the food. Is that dress? She works there, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they took the sleeves off that dress.
But, like, the Asian lady back there, she's just standing there. She's like an interpreter, like, I wonder if somebody's going to need me.
Different employees with different...
She looks like, she's like, should I leave at this point?
She looks very awkward.
Should I still be here? She's an extra that did not know what she was supposed to do. Just kind of stayed there as the cameras kept rolling.
And here we find out that Spartan was actually at least somewhat conscious during his cryogenesis.
Yeah.
Cryostasis.
In fact, they could have made those cameras much more stealthy.
Possibly.
How? I mean, they gotta be able to see.
I don't know, it goes a little bit up?
They sort of remind me of Johnny Five's antenna that come up.
I mean, it goes like 3 feet up.
You need a good view.
I don't know, put in like a bush or something. A bit more hidden.
Maybe?
And of course, these are Edgar Friendly's people coming to try to get some food.
Yeah.
For their literally underground society.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got cooler clothes.
Lots of, like, tire-based armor.
Your taste. He was wearing a lot of layers.
I mean, that's the style. Unless you're Sandra Bullock, where you're just wearing a few seashells.
But you're just wearing a dress that looks like those little glass pebbles attached.
Yeah, just like
the
not
vase
even
fillers.
rhinestones, but just like pebbles all over her.
Yeah.
So where do they get all the weapons and ammo and stuff?
I mean, Friendly's gun looks homemade. I'm not gonna lie, the little double barrel pistol he was
DIY.
carrying. Some of the other guys seem to have more,
Maybe some underground stuff.
Yeah.
It's like assuming there's no more weapon factories or anything.
Well, right, but I mean, all these weapons were left over, so it's easy enough to smuggle some down there.
That's
what kind of wall
weapon.
96
Definitely. It's like a fan
was,
blade
so.
on a pole, which is fucking badass.
So kept that.
Okay, Demolition Man RPG. Turn-based, of course.
Of course.
The Doctor does not like that.
Yeah.
Or you can put one Stallone versus one Arnold. Which movie is he choosing?
I mean, you gotta go Terminator if you're Arnold, right? I don't think anything's gonna stand up to the Terminator, and then, I mean, Stallone's just fucked at that point. I mean, what was Rocky gonna do? Rocky gonna box the Terminator?
I mean, I'm just saying, the Terminator was taken down by a normal dude.
A normal dude and a normal chick.
Got glasses.
Kyle Reese blew him in half.
And
he was
now
still
he's
kicking. She had to pull down a giant hydraulic press on him to crush him.
But like Rambo?
I hope he's holding them.
Rambo might be able to take down.
I mean,
the
Rambo
Terminator.
did have explosive arrows by the third movie. Maybe.
The joy.
I mean, enough explosives. The Terminator's gonna go down.
Happy, joy, joy. I know, I heard the creator for Instant he's kind of a dick, but damn, I love that cartoon.
Nice.
And if he's not, I apologize. I just heard that, so I don't want to impugn anybody. Yeah, Stallone's starting to... Well, he already realized some things were amiss, but now he's starting to see that things really aren't as they seem.
Yeah.
22:15, so I guess we're going military time.
Apparently.
I do like the shrinking steering wheel
It's interesting.
when it goes in self-driving.
I'm not sure how physically it works, but...
This scene and another scene later kind of made me really like his character. Because he is, like, the big kind of mean, angry kind of character, but then there's little things like this. Like, he says he's sorry and stuff, and it's cute.
Yeah.
He's tough, but he's not mean.
He's the gruff on the outside, sensitive on the inside type.
Yeah.
I just do my job and things get demolished.
I kicked a wall ball.
I just keep the water bottle and things get demolished.
I've dropped multiple things during this show.
Yeah, and this is pretty much the last time you hear about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, I'd say either remove the references to it if you're gonna remove the scene, or keep the scene in.
I don't know. I think it works fine. And then, to be honest with you, I'm still way more curious about the seashells than I thought. Oh, and he grabbed her hand there, and of course they're not used to physical contact in this future. Or this present, as it were, for them.
Yeah.
She liked it, though.
Subject change.
Yep.
But he just said that during commentary.
I mean, you've never done
It's a
that?
very literal future.
I mean, I do that nowadays. It's like, okay, changing the topic.
Yeah, but okay, subject change.
One thing they did miss the mark, and they're like, oh, we'll have little discs in 30 years. It's like, nah, everything's just fucking digital now.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
the
just got rid
GameCube
of
used
the
little
discs.
discs.
Nah, I changed that. Illuminate. Yeah, but the GameCube was like 1998.
That's the thing. We had little discs in the later 90s
then the Wii used
early
big
2000s.
The Wii could also...
The Wii U has that big disc energy.
Like, older Wii's can play GameCube games, but then they stopped Wii's playing games.
But then,
at this point, Phoenix has got the tire tread armor on.
by this point.
You know, I mean,
So they make that himself.
fairly tough, but I wouldn't think that would stop too much. I mean, it'd probably be good for hand-to-hand combat, but it ain't stopping a bullet.
So you can
Might
slash
stop,
the
like, some
tires, so I don't
slashes.
know.
Maybe.
At least protect you.
Depending on how sharp your object is.
Yeah. And though, we don't see any swords used in this movie. Disappointingly.
No, but that was a badass homemade axe.
Yeah, other than
Yeah.
that axe thing.
No,
It was
she
like-
has a katana
It's a
on her
big
wall.
fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine how much better this movie could have. And it's a great movie. Could have been so much
It's
better
not
if
a
he
real
broke out the katana.
It's
Is
decorative.
he still wearing that CD on his belt?
Maybe.
Probably.
That on every outfit?
Probably.
There's no importance to it. Is it there
He just
on every outfit?
likes it.
That almost looks like an old school wrestling belt. With the little medallion and the large belt.
He's very good at making
It's
tire armor,
making me
apparently.
think of something.
Not for nothing, but I mean, with all the training they gave him and just his sociopathical tendencies, I think he could have taken out Edgar Friendly by himself.
Probably.
I feel like the doctor was really naive to break out the other prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently he didn't put the same safeguards into them that he did into Phoenix, because, spoilers, Jesse Ventura is going to kill him in a little while. So very short-sighted on the doctor's part. Apparently he wasn't that smart.
I don't think he had time to put the safeguards in. I assume those take time. They're not like an instant thing.
I don't know. I don't know how shit works in the future, man. We're still 9 years from now.
Considering that happens while they're in cryostasis.
Does Malibu even exist at this point, or Santa Monica?
We don't know.
That's what Phoenix is asking for, is his payment. Perhaps even all the coastal cities. Is that like a pepper on his... There's a little decoration on Dr. Cocteau's desk.
How long do you think he took making that armor?
He probably just killed somebody and took it off of him, honestly.
Probably.
But if you... I don't know if we'll get another shot of it, but on the desk, there's some sort of decoration that looks like a little red pepper.
Interesting.
Which seems very against everything in this modern society. I mean, no spicy stuff.
Is it a spicy pepper?
Is there a non-spicy pepper? I mean, maybe a bell pepper. This doesn't look like a bell pepper.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see it now.
Damn. I'm sorry.
It's like an airport.
Maybe it
Yeah,
was.
it looks like the airport outside in like Baltimore. Something we see going up 95.
Nice.
Man, can you believe they don't have flying cars?
No, I know. I'm just
movie?
saying that's what it reminds me of. I haven't been to California, so I can't reference something in California.
One of the rare future movies that don't predict
E.T.
flying cars.
You know, honestly, she tried to make like a
E.T.
90s style
Superman.
apartment here. If there's a little more anime related stuff in here, this would be like a nowadays apartment. Honestly, they kind of nailed this.
Honestly.
Cyberpunk also doesn't have flying cars.
Pixel president.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's JFK.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
His face looks small though.
There's a gumball machine in front of him.
I didn't notice
Yeah.
there's a gumball
Is that a
machine.
rocket ship one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
That's what I noticed about it. Kind of looks like a white crayon.
A little bit.
Or there's a rocket ship or a white crayon.
No, it's a rocket ship.
Definitely.
Question that should not be asked at NASA.
Just boldly say it. Would you like to have sex?
I mean...
They are very direct in the future.
What's wrong with that
With you.
kind of directness, though, in my
He's like the with you, like she got somebody else stashed in the back room or something. Who the hell else is she asking about? I love her enthusiasm. Great, yay! Just so naive and innocent. I like the beads. I always wanted those on my closet. Never got around. I think I actually bought some. Maybe I even hung them up. I don't know.
I wanted some for the doorway, too. My room once.
Is that a ladder over there?
I don't know
Like
what
you got,
that is.
they've got this like this little sunken seating area. Do you need to like climb out of it? Maybe some sort of exercise thing.
I'm not sure.
Check the breath, yeah. Got the Love Boat theme song playing, so now we've gone from commercial jingles to TV theme songs. She got changed quickly, I'm just saying. I mean, maybe
She wasn't wearing much.
maybe it was a time cut. She's wearing a lot now. In her Princess Leia get up.
Relatively. It doesn't look like she's still wearing that much.
Gotta give him a towel.
Looks like she put on a
Y'all know
bow.
around the time of this movie, I used to carry around a hand towel with me every day. I had like a different color towel for every day of the week.
Very nice.
Or can you tell?
Yeah, and that was way before I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Just, towels come in handy.
But even this reminds me of Cyberpunk. Because in Cyberpunk they have these things called BDs or brain dances, which are like little virtual reality things. Mostly porn in the universe, but still.
I don't have anything against this seeing concept-wise. I just don't like watching it because of all the flashing.
Same.
Like, concept-wise,
Like,
fine, but
I'm
the
looking at
flashing,
during
no
this
thank
scene.
Oh my
That hurts my eyes.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was like 14, 15, when I first saw this movie, I paused this a lot trying to get a look at the boobs.
I don't have questions,
Mainly
but...
because naively I assumed they were Sandra Bullock's boobs, and I had a real crush on her, not knowing about the concept of body doubles. But I'm like, I gotta see Sandy's titties. And I mean, we're talking VHS days then, not even DVD, so...
This before you could just look up boobs.
It was hard to get that for sure. I mean, I had some porn mags, but it wasn't like I could just type in, boobs and...
You couldn't do that in 93?
No. Like I said, I didn't have a computer until 99. I didn't have the internet until 2000.
Thank God. But I don't know much about the 90s. I just know the whole telephone, internet, dial-up stuff is associated.
I mean, I didn't even start hearing about websites and AOL and shit until like 94, 95. So,
I just assumed that the internet, it did not take...
I know it goes
to
back to like the
the
70s at its roots, but I mean, it was not mainstream and there for everybody until the mid-90s.
90s.
At the earliest, and even then we're talking dial-up. I mean, you want some boobs there, you're gonna have to sit there and wait for a while. Anyway,
17 minutes later.
Who did it.
Boom! Speaking of boobs, I'm gonna ask you two to carry this commentary for just a second, because I really gotta pee. So I'm gonna run really quickly.
I'm with you on that, but okay.
I'm calling you all the boobs.
Okay.
Alright, y'all got this, go.
Sure we
Tag
do.
in.
This is an awkward scene to suddenly carry the conversation.
Yes.
So you want to break down like all the artwork on the walls or something? What?
Pepsi.
Oh, screw Pepsi.
She has multiple Pepsi things in her. Did I say
Damn.
Pepsi can? No, that's not
Coca-Cola's
Pepsi can.
better.
Well, Pepsi sponsored this movie, I guess.
Probably.
Pepsi and Taco Bell.
No, I mean also it's, I don't know, California, 93, something like that.
Yeah, you can't kiss
Future.
people in this future.
I know.
My daily life.
I like Stallone's character in this. I like him going in for the kiss and it's like, I'm breaking the law, damn it. Yeah. What's that up on who? See, I'm more curious about the wall, damn it.
There's probably so many references. I saw an ET
The
pin,
doors are really
an ET
interesting.
magnet, a
What do you think about the
Superman
doors?
magnet. The sliding doors.
Yeah. They have that wooden and like mostly opaque sort of see-through
House 32.
thing.
They even scanned the card. It looks like he scanned his wrist or his hand.
It looked like he was scanning the microchip in his hand.
Then why do you have the card?
I have no idea.
Odd.
It falls.
Is it broke something?
Yeah. Does not care though.
We
Just
don't
keeps
see why it
walking.
broke.
Nope.
Doesn't
On the
matter.
coffee table or something.
What's with the light?
Very
Why that light has like a triangle dome around it?
Because why not? We kind of saw that in other things. And there's the three shells.
3 shells.
Are there even 3 actual shells? 'Cause those are very metallic. No
Oh.
thoughts? Okay. Very tiny mirror.
Yeah. Halloween. This is a Halloween movie?
Right. That's what I was thinking when we watched this earlier.
Man, I didn't know this was a Halloween movie.
Set up here. Looks like a tiny screen with like an old
Tiny
stereo set up.
A PS Vita game.
Yeah.
Or is that PSP?
Yeah, PSP.
I think the...
It might be both, but I'm not familiar with PSP.
I get confused because I don't do either.
I believe our older sibling had a PSP.
And now he's knitting.
Yeah, because apparently he knits. I like it though. I like that little added softness. It's nice. I don't want to repeatedly call Stallone cute.
Matty missed the boobs.
Yup.
That appeared for 2 seconds for no reason.
I mean, I also technically missed the boobs because I was looking over to you to talk about him knitting.
But it's like... They put in the behavioral thing because he was like too rough of a cop or whatever.
Something like
Or
that.
too... Just one name, guns a-blazing.
Uh-huh.
And yet all they did was give him the ability to knit.
Yep.
That's all they did.
Yep.
Didn't make it like, okay, maybe let's not one in guns a-blazing. So like, let's make him knit. Like,
Yep. Maybe they thought the natural desire to knit would counter that somehow.
I feel like wanting in there with both my guns.
Is
But
it
I'm
fun?
going to knit a sweater.
Yeah. This is the other scene I was talking about earlier that I really like, because it's just that added little softness.
How long did it take to knit that sweater?
All night.
How long does it take to to knit a sweater? Do you know?
I don't know, I don't knit. Probably longer than just one night, even if you're like
Can you
really
make
good
a
at
sweater
it.
with one ball of yarn?
Probably not.
They only gave him one ball of yarn.
Yeah, and
They go out and buy more yarn?
Maybe? They said, I do not know. I don't even think for somebody very small you could do just one ball. Maybe if you're doing it for a baby.
I find it
but
odd.
I don't think
Man, I
Sandra
just
Bullock's the
realized I
size of a
left
baby.
just in time to miss the gratuitous titties.
We
Like he
acknowledge
gets
that.
like
Yeah,
he gets a video
mentions.
call just like for no reason. It's just a naked girl like, hey Max, oh wrong numbers. Like they just had to slip some titties in there. Like look, this is a late '80s, early '90s style movie. Got to get some more titties in here.
Yeah, after the scene earlier failed, they're like, you know what, we'll be nice to the fans. Give them some boobs.
But I found odd how the doors of the cars, it's just one door per side that opens for the front and back.
Which I'm just saying, if fully
little
nude
bit.
video calls from chicks is a part of the new reality, that's like the one good thing.
Is
I
that
think
porn
that would
in
be
the
illegal,
future?
too. I don't know.
Because they don't have most other things.
Exactly.
I mean,
I mean, maybe they didn't
the
get
sex
rid of.
is just whatever that was.
Yeah. The procreation is all lab-based and whatnot.
So,
But I mean-
even if there was porn, it'd be old porn. Because in essence, it's naked people not doing anything.
Naked people! That's what I walk into.
Because there's no actual sexual interaction between people in the future. So would that be porn?
I don't know.
It's like retro shit.
Do they?
No, I wouldn't imagine so in this like hyper sanitized reality. I can't imagine.
They probably decided at some point.
That's no bad.
That fun wasn't okay.
That's not joy. That's bad.
What about self-pleasure? Did
How do
they
you train
decide
somebody?
that's not good too?
They trained him in terrorism tactics. Like they really went overboard on this.
They
Do you
put all the
think?
information.
Do you think the self-pleasure is the same? These are porn. The
We're talking about two different things. I just went to terrorism.
Yeah,
We're talking self-pleasure.
Self-pleasure.
Look,
Yeah,
she
those do
was
not
talking
overlap.
about it, so I would just continue the conversation.
Those do not overlap.
You know, you're like, this is an awkward moment to leave. I leave and I come back and I try to steer the conversation toward terrorism and y'all just want to talk about masturbation.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I think those corridors would be really annoying because like, what if like the backseat person wants to get out? They have to open the door now, and then like a breeze gun coming.
What about like a 2-seater car? I mean, like a 2-door car where you have
I was gonna say it just makes me think of the older cars.
Seems annoying.
Okay, that is annoying. You got to open the front door and then push the seat up to get out.
Yeah.
I know.
Unless you're a movie character who just hops out
ones.
over the door.
That's more like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Somehow these video cameras are less technologically advanced than the ones we have today. Probably.
I loved it earlier when he was having like the Zoom meeting with all the senators or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be senators, whatever they are, and they would like turn to follow him.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
10 seconds to decide. 9.5 seconds too long.
Yeah, there's the fine behind him. That might have been the scene you were talking about, even.
Maybe.
Yeah. I made rounds on that gun.
Multiple.
Like,
I mean, I'd say anywhere from 9 to 15. I don't know exactly what make it is and what sort of clip he's carrying, so somewhere in that range for a handgun.
Yeah. Very nice.
It's the best gag.
I don't know.
I appreciate the attention to detail. Like they made sure.
I like that
fine.
moment where he's like finding Oz behind the curtain. I thought that was a nice little nod. I mean that looks like a Beretta 9mm, so we're probably talking like maybe 10 to 11 bullets, give or take.
Nice.
Not that I'm an expert on handguns or anything, but
Neither am I. My favorite guns are pistols and shotguns.
that's a broad, just pistol. That covers a lot.
I mean, this stuff like
general
Glock,
Like an old flintlock pistol or
I'm
a
not overly fond of guns.
big old Wild West revolver.
Speaking of old pistols in Cyberpunk, and only we're talking Elon Musk, I heard.
You want to shoot him?
I
I knew somebody would shoot that bastard.
I heard a story. I heard a story that he like went into the freaking CD Projekt Red play.
Did y'all see that weird flex from the camera there when they shifted perspective?
Not entirely.
I mean, maybe it was intentional, or maybe that's just what you get when you make that move with an old-style camera, but I don't know. It seemed like they would have cut that out and done better.
But I heard they went into like the offices with a really old like pistol that shoots one bullet, and I was like, "Put me in the game."
What?
Yeah, we missed.
They
it
didn't.
there. Okay.
Put him in the game.
Okay.
Good for them.
Isn't a really odd story.
All right.
And now they're going under.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going down.
Heading to a sewer.
That was another one of my favorite running gags. Is Bullock's character, Nina Huxley, always getting her sayings mixed up early on. She's like, "You really matched his meat. You really licked his ass."
Yeah.
Met his match and kicked his ass. Yeah. This is a funny movie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, look, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I get it. I'm not saying you have to, but boy, I liked it. Still do.
I like this part right here where he's correcting her. She's like, whatever.
You really got away with words. Hey, yo, by the way, too, you know what plumbers do, right? They lay pipe. What? Nothing, never mind.
They are so prepared for this. I guess she's going on about how gross it is, and then launch her hands through her
I would say that was intentional, but Pan didn't mean back then what it does now. I mean, it did, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying?
It did, but it wasn't as commonly used, whatever. Well known. I don't know the correct word I'm looking
That's probably like the name of like an assistant director or something on the film. Like, oh, put their name in there. Some sort of background gag like that. Speaking of, I noticed that one of the producers on this film was Howard Kazanjian, who produced Raiders of the Lost Ark and Return of the Jedi. I had no idea he was associated with it. I knew it was a Joel Silver production. Joel Silver was like one of the big action movie producers of the 80s and 90s.
Speaking of Return of the Jedi, I was saying Ron that Rex from the Clone Wars. He's kind of been retconned into Return of the Jedi. There's like this one character that has like a big white beard. Originally his name in the extended universe was like a Santa Claus reference. But since then, with Rex's outfit in Rebels, and there's also a little like animation on one of the Star Wars Kids YouTube channels that shows that scene from Return of the Jedi on Endor. and it shows that character, and but they replaced like the arm guards with the clone trooper arm guards with the blue.
Wow, Boy George is looking good for like a 60-year-old. He just steals her watch to pay for this burger.
Yep.
A
Reasonable.
little specious, but she goes with it. It's fucking Rolex, too. How could a cop afford a Rolex?
Everyone gets a free ball.
Getting paid under the table.
Booger. I don't like boogers.
This is always a good bitch. Like, don't ask where the meat comes from. Do you see any cows around here? I'm getting ahead of myself, I know, but...
Would have been pretty advanced if they had the cows.
I just, look, he's speaking at least some form of Spanish to this lady.
Uh-huh.
Is rata really Spanish for rat? This seems like the kind of thing somebody would say they don't know how to speak Spanish. They're like, rata! It might be.
No, I got ox.
You got it? Okay.
But it always stood out to me, like, really?
I like how he finds out and he's still sitting there like,
Hey,
it's good.
If it tastes good, it tastes
don't
good.
worry. Rata is the feminine one. Rateau is the masculine.
Reasonable.
I mean, he finishes the burger.
So apparently it was a feminine rat.
I mean, to be fair, if you haven't had meat in 30 years...
I mean, he said it was a good
and you're a
burger.
meat eater. I mean, obviously, if you're a vegetarian.
He said it was a good burger.
Dude with the bongos took a while to realize something was... He's still jamming out while everybody else is moving back. It's like, oh shit, I gotta stop now.
Yeah.
It's like, it may be rat, but a good burger is a good burger.
Exactly.
Oh boy, the sombrero up there just for no fucking reason.
Good burger.
Yeah, Judge Dredd, I think, was Stallone's first movie after this, and I loved this movie. I don't know why I didn't check it out.
That's a cyberpunk movie.
Probably by that time, like I said, I was moving on. I was like Pulp Fiction, Kevin Smith, Tarantino.
I haven't seen Judge
I know
Dredd.
Huxley constantly
I haven't
smiles
either.
at him.
Huxley constantly what?
I also haven't
Smiles
seen,
at him.
I also haven't seen...
She's smitten with him. Come
Yeah,
on.
I know. I'm saying I like it.
It's a subtle performance, even for all the over the top stuff in this movie. She just does some really nice. Her enthusiasm is very charming.
That
Yeah,
little
that
acting
pistol that
and
Friendly has
story and
there,
everything.
that
is
definitely
very
looks homemade.
Unexpected in this film.
I think Seth Rogen took some inspiration for that too, for the double barrel pistol that the villain had in his Green Arrow movie.
But now hear me out. A triple barrel pistol.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Hear me out. An octuple barrel pistol.
That might be a little much.
You can shoot 8 people at once.
It's just a fucking minigun at that point.
Nah, it shoots all at once.
Hey, Pennzoil.
You shoot 8 different people.
Dude, American Pickers would love to come down here. An army of assholes, led by Major Asshole.
So how do you think she acquires all the contraband stuff?
I don't know. She's a cop.
I mean, yeah. But at the same time...
Cops are always above the law. I think that was also a 90s movie, Above the Law. Maybe it was a rap group. Maybe it was both.
What wasn't a movie or a rap group in the 90s?
Powerpuff Girls. Although they may have had a movie, actually, now I think about it. Not a theatrical movie. They had the movie with the Beatles, though. And here's Dennis Lee run off on one of these motor mouth rants. That was indicative of his comedy at the time, so I mean, it was just him sort of being himself here.
Nice.
He's great in the role. To me, he's the real hero of the movie. I mean, Spartan's not a bad guy at all, and Huxley's great. I'm not sure running around through the streets naked with green jello over yourself is going to be acceptable in any society.
Facts.
I mean, I don't have a problem
maybe
with it.
a society,
I'm not king
but not
shaming.
most major common societies.
Yeah, the double barrel pistol actually reminded me of something called the duck's foot pistol.
Oh.
It's a pistol with 4 barrels that looks like a duck's foot.
No, it looks like a...
So 4 fingers.
Yeah. Looks like a hand.
But it shoots all at once. Doesn't seem very efficient.
No.
I mean, that's just sort of a mini shotgun.
but no.
I mean, if you need to shoot 4 people...
That are
Then-
close in range to one
I mean,
another.
to be fair, though, if you had to fire off each barrel individually, then you got to keep all the triggers straight.
Yeah. I
It would
also
be a little awkward.
I saw on the Wikipedia page for where the duck's foot gun is,
They're using
volley
a pool
guns.
table for their meeting table there.
Yeah.
I also saw a 3-barrel pistol
Jesse Ventura, future former governor of Minnesota.
that can apparently fire all barrels
guess.
simultaneously or sequentially.
I don't know what he's like in a political role.
I heard he was socially liberal, fiscally conservative. And
Okay.
I don't think he was well received as governor. People felt like he was just sort of using the office for his own gains and spent too much time doing other stuff, like being a commentator for the XFL.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
sorry.
He did not serve a second term. Jesse Ventura.
Ah.
Before that, he was the mayor of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota.
Interesting.
Not sure how well that was received either.
I suppose, did we miss the mention of Arnold?
Yes. I'm not sure if I was even in the room for that.
I don't know.
I think it was when they were leading up to her apartment. So yeah. In this continuity, Arnold Schwarzenegger, even though he wasn't a natural citizen, he was allowed to be president, which is sort of prescient because he was governor of California.
Yeah.
So that's sort of interesting.
What's with so many actors being in the government?
We don't
California has a history of that. Ronald Reagan was governor, and then of course president of the United States, and he was an actor. So like two.
That seems
In Japan, it's
more
not, it's
common.
not uncommon for pro wrestlers to be in the Diet, which is like their version of the Senate.
know. Interesting.
Hiroshi Hase, Antonio Inoki, I know both served in the Diet.
They need
got there
something to
quickly.
do. When
I mean, I know they were
passed
underground as well, but damn,
some
they
of
got
the
there
stuff.
quickly.
and they didn't hear a single shot.
Yeah, everybody
Free shot.
else ducks. He's like, I'm just gonna pick up this table. That'll cover me. It covers the important parts. I'm sure it's bulletproof.
I'm just saying, they were standing there just talking. They had a free shot and missed all of them.
Plot armor, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they are so bad at
undefeated.
shooting.
That pattern, the swirly.
I don't think he's hit with the
reminds me
railgun
of part
once.
of the putsch.
Well, he's hit
At
stuff, just not people.
Yeah.
I've always liked it.
Ever since you saw it 4 hours ago.
No, I just said that swirly metal pattern thing reminded me of the putsch at your parents' house.
I think by this point,
The two columns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think by this point,
I was like, I've always liked that since I saw this movie 4 hours ago.
but I think by
Yup.
this point, he's
I've
only
loved
hit
it for the
people
last
with the
4
shotgun.
hours. The way they fell off that bridge.
He cannot hit
Oh,
people
fireman's
with the
carry.
shotgun.
Look, I think he's learned some moves from Jesse. Although from what I've heard, Jesse Ventura was a much better talker than wrestler. Never saw him wrestle. Up and out.
And he's gone. They didn't feel like chasing after him past this point.
He just fires at random up through the shaft. Just blam, 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 blam.
He had somewhat
Where's
of
the
a
light
chance
coming
to
from
shoot
at
him.
that point?
Nobody.
Camel.
Where's the light source? Can we see any products back there? I can't make anything out. Oh, of course, there's the elevator controls. I'm sure they still work 50 years later.
How
Yeah.
do you know that was an elevator?
How did he know? I mean, he saw the shaft.
Ah, yeah. That makes sense.
But how did he know all this stuff was that?
And you know when you see the shaft, you lay pipe. Look, he's got the war paint on now. That's what passes for entry in this movie. Just smudge their face up a little bit. No, we can't have any blood.
Yeah, we can have boobs, but no blood.
I think there's a joke there, but I'm just gonna let it go.
Okay. Believe in the future.
Got the car, drove it into the elevator.
Yeah. Backed it in the elevator, too, because he's coming out straight.
Yeah.
Didn't try and stop for those people to say, you better move out of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on a mission. Are they like under the Eiffel Tower?
That's almost what that
Is
looks
the
like.
Eiffel Tower west?
The new Eiffel Tower.
That was like a car dealership, too.
They just took it from Vegas during the earthquake.
Did they even have the Eiffel Tower in Vegas in 1993?
The
Or that was
Eiffel
in
Tower in
2010.
Vegas.
Yes, and yeah, the earthquake was 2010, so
I never been
I know
to
the earthquake
Vegas,
was 2010, but I don't know how long they've had the Eiffel Tower there.
I'm gonna find out.
So I've never been to Vegas.
That is a
so-
shiny
neither.
tunnel.
It is
Yeah.
shiny.
It's like a disco ball
Future.
tunnel.
What else would you expect from the future?
So you just gotta take the disco tunnel all the way to Santa Monica?
Disco tunnel.
Disco tunnel. Yeah.
Disco.
Look, I'm just saying, when I left the room a little while ago, I hope y'all were really carrying this, because this has been a good episode. I hope y'all didn't
We were
drop the
mainly
ball.
talking about sex.
God damn. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Is that what we're mainly talking about?
Essentially,
I like the
talking-
auto inflate tire.
I already forgot the
I agree with
conversation.
Phoenix there. That
Actually,
is
no, we
awful.
talked about her womb.
Her
Yeah.
And then
womb?
something else.
It's kind of private, bro.
And then we started talking about the
Oh, I
sex
kept
and
I
all
kept
that.
calling Stallone cute.
And the... Yeah.
I mean,
and
he's not my type, but...
We also talked about how, for his behavioral thing, like, he was too guns a-blazing, so these have made him able to knit.
I'd like to build a knit. Not knit so much as sew. I'd love to learn how
That's
to
just
sew.
a really weird behavioral thing.
I'm saying sewing is a valuable skill.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's to make him less guns a-blazing. They made him knit. It didn't really do much.
This is another one too, like, how does he miss? He's on the roof of the car, and you can't get him with a fucking submachine gun.
He's really bad at aiming. He's only hit people with shotguns. At point blank, essentially.
Okay, guys.
Go K, guys?
Yeah.
Go KKO.
So looking up
Total
the
mass
Eiffel
vibes from
Tower
that car.
thing
There
in
with
Vegas.
That door came off awfully easily. I'm just saying. I mean, I guess they got the shoddy construction of stuff in the future correct.
The Eiffel Tower thing in Vegas, it's a half-scale replica of the Eiffel Tower. It's Paris, Las Vegas, a casino hotel owned by Caesars Entertainment. But apparently, it opened, so I have to assume it was constructed, September 1st, 1999.
Okay.
And fun fact, it was renovated in 2011.
Right after the earthquake.
Yep.
And this is where we find out that the hostages were already dead, so Phoenix essentially set up Spartan.
Yeah.
Speaking of dead, how does he survive that?
Super soldier shit.
That doesn't change your biological makeup. I mean, I know he had the rubber armor on.
I mean, would that kill you?
I don't know. That
Going out of
impact
a car?
should do some damage.
Yeah,
You
damage.
drive out of a car at 50 miles an hour onto asphalt.
It would definitely do some damage.
Maybe
Definitely hurt a lot.
If you
I-
didn't-
maybe
if you
if his
landed
head
correctly,
didn't
maybe
hit.
it would not kill you, but I feel like he would be more beaten up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be.
He should definitely be
in this
beaten up.
movie.
Oh, those
If,
guys are just dead. There's no way he did. That's why they cut away. He
Mickey
totally
Mouse
plowed
piece
them
of
over.
shit.
I do like this safety foam stuff. That's pretty damn cool. We need something like
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wanted to reference too earlier when Simon was fighting the cops outside of the terminal early on.
Mm-hmm.
He just stomped right through the windshield and it just broke away.
Yeah.
That,
That's not how that should work.
That is not how safety glass in a windshield works.
Yeah.
And even by 93 we had that. So what the hell went on in the future? They're
Don't
like,
have safety glass
We'll just get
anymore.
rid of that. We're not going to have any
The car's driving
We got the
itself.
foam.
Yeah.
We got the foam. We don't
Everything
need the
else
glass.
is so safe. They don't need to spend extra on safety glass.
This stuff can't be that tough either because he's fixing to punch right through it.
That's also
The only problem with the foam is,
that.
kind of ruins the car.
I do like the
A little
attention to
bit.
detail there, though, but the door was gone.
But there's
so
a
just
fair
the foam door at
argument
this
that
point.
that car could be totaled otherwise.
I mean,
so.
yeah, you could clean it all out, but then you don't have the foam anymore. I assume that's all the foam.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
And if
I'm just
refill?
saying, like that. You could make the argument that without it, your car would still be totaled. So you'd still be out of car.
Maybe.
Either way, you're out of car.
I just
I
feel
mean, he
like,
knocked it off pretty easily. I think it would clean up pretty easily.
yeah, but then you probably didn't get foam.
You know, to be
refill.
fair, who's going to bother stitching up a t-shirt, especially if the rip's not on the seam? Just get a new one.
Someone who's really good at...
So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one of the more unbelievable things about
It's like, if you can, just do it.
Oh, I think we have some blood on him, though.
Yo,
yeah, I think
blood.
that's when we finally get some blood. It's almost positioned just like a badge on
And
him.
there's the squad. Did they actually do anything? I don't remember seeing them actually do anything.
No.
They don't join in the fight at all.
No.
There's kind of hair.
I'm not sure what they're doing when he goes after Phoenix, to be honest with you. I guess they're negotiating the new government.
It's like, there's like
Probably.
20 to 100 people other than Phoenix to fight. And these don't.
Yeah.
It's like they mentioned like 80 people, but well, I guess they won't released yet when he fights Phoenix later. It's 80 people to be released. But still, there's like 20 people that Phoenix has with them. And we don't see like any of them.
I don't know if it was that scene or previously, like actually in the sewers, where supposedly the person who was supposed to be, the main character's daughter appears.
Well, I thought you said it was in the sewers.
Maybe. I don't remember what I said.
I don't know.
I know that at some point she
Take
supposedly
this job and
appears.
shovel it.
with,
I ain't
like,
working here no more. And we're about to see the downfall of Raymond Cocteau.
Yeah. This is the last time you see
Pope-like guy.
the
evil Mr.
Phoenix
Rogers, as
friends.
Phoenix is about to call him.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah, that's another thing, too. Well, I know that's not true, because some of them do confront Huxley and Spartan when they come after Phoenix. You don't see Jesse. I don't know what happened to him. I guess he went off to run for mayor of Minnesota or something, or governor.
He had to get out of this before that would affect his one.
I don't need these stains on me, Phoenix. I got political aspirations. Can't take away people's right to be assholes. That's who you remind me of. An evil Mr. Rogers. I don't think you should impugn the good goddamn name of Mr. Rogers like that, though. Let's be honest.
Facts.
I do love the scene where it's like, you kill this motherfucker. Not that I'm supporting murder, but I just...
It's like,
that guy.
It's like you... No, I'm just saying...
Fictional murder.
I'm just saying, you thought about it enough to make sure that Phoenix couldn't kill you, but then you willingly took these other criminals out and didn't think about making sure you had safeguards there. I mean, you kind of deserved it at this point. I don't think it was really him.
Obviously. It's still awkward, though.
And then old Weasley Otho here, willing to move on to the next master. Which I guess is good he's still around, because they're going to need somebody to help smooth the transition. So, good for them that he stayed around. Motherfucker! Can you imagine Sam Jackson?
He would have numerous citations.
This would be like, what, a year before Sam Jackson would blow up thanks to Pulp Fiction?
I have no idea.
Again, not his first role by any means, but, that's sort of the movie that made him a star.
It's a fight time.
Fight time?
Right to the balls.
Correct.
He just smacked the shit out of her.
Time.
I'm surprised she actually manages to do any fighting, considering everyone seems incompetent in the future.
Yeah, well, you know how enthused by the violent 90s she is.
Yeah.
Facts.
Those are some tight pants.
Yes. Guys, we talked about Stallone and Schwarzenegger's ages.
I do like the rough... Oh, wait. Huxley gets her first kill.
Yep. Samuel L. Jackson, by the way, is 74 years old.
Wow.
And I mean, Spartan rightly points out, look, it was him or us. But I'm just thinking when I watched this earlier, Toby Fox would hate this fucking scene. The kill or be killed doesn't work for him. No, let's all be friends. Reason with the enemies.
Look at this, he's been active since 72.
Toby Fox?
Yes. Toby Fox is alive in 72, right?
Yeah.
Was Toby Fox older than me? Probably not.
No,
I was going to say he was like 2, but he probably wasn't alive then.
Toby Fox grew up on Earthbound. He grew up on the SNES. What was I you can't
like literally on the SNES? He's a SNES baby. He's not a test tube baby, he's a SNES tube baby.
You see, he came from a prototype game cartridge, escaped into the real world. He's a just pixelated dog.
Now, you made a comment earlier when we were watching this movie, the fact that there were like, 80 prisoners coming out. That doesn't seem like that much, but is like 80 prisoners against John Spartan?
Yeah, he takes out like that many. Look, Rambo probably takes out more than 80 people.
I mean, yeah, we do have the scrap army coming up, but I mean, they're not really prepared to... They were not prepared to handle Simon Phoenix, much less 80 Simon Phoenix.
I'm just saying, how many people does Rambo take out in his movies?
There are websites that have the body counts for like Stallone or Schwarzenegger and whatnot in their movies.
I mean, it feels like he's taking out 80 people in this movie.
He's taking out like 4 at this point.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying kill, just neutralize.
Yeah. It seemed like they could have let him have at least some briefs or something on when they chilled him. They have to be completely naked. Did it not work otherwise?
Yup. That was a problem with the fabrics or something.
It's like Terminator where you couldn't see anything but organic material through.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that at least works, because then that explains why you have the biological material on top of the, endoskeleton of the Terminator.
Yeah.
Here, I don't see an explanation for it. Oh, fuck, he's got the beret on.
Yeah. Y'all was reading,
This is where Jamie Hyneman got inspired to wear the beret.
Yep.
He's a big fan of Demolition Man.
Yeah. I mean, they do like blowing things up.
Did Mythbusters do that many 80s action movie? Myths?
No, they did an A-Team special, which was an 80s action series.
That's kind of disappointing.
They did a cliffhanger Myth, which was a Stallone movie.
Nice.
Look, 80s action movies are just untouchable. You couldn't fuck with them. Do what?
I heard that's getting rebooted or something.
Okay.
And also, most things in A's action movies are probably either like, yeah, of course that's real, or yeah, of course that's not real.
To be fair, they did test the idea of covering yourself in mud to be like a thermal camera, which Arnold does in The Predator. Mm-hmm. And they kind of... It was within the context of just trying to break into a building and beat the scanner. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't technically a Predator myth, but obviously they did point out that Schwarzenegger did it in the movie.
Yeah.
That shot right there, the two guns and jumping out and blasting them. Phoenix did it earlier. Spartan does it here. That's like classic.
Okay, he shot like
movie
25 rounds from each of them.
I don't think he shot that many. I mean, look, at least they do take the time to show them reloading. They're not just getting ridiculous with it. Maybe they don't have an exact count.
That's all I could think when seeing this, honestly. But I was going to say, I was reading through Samuel L. Jackson's Wikipedia page, even though, yes, I know that he has nothing to do with this movie, because it's a year before Pulp Fiction. But,
it's like the year after Jungle Fever, though.
Okay. I mean, it's multiple. It's like 2 decades after he started his career, apparently.
Actually, it might have been the same year as Jungle Fever, but continue.
But anyway, I got to the point where I was reading his career, and I'm at the very beginning.
Success. Not to say he wasn't a good actor from the beginning, but it took him a while to really break out.
Apparently, he did a lot of theater stuff early on, like Broadway and whatnot.
Now I wonder, was he actually trying to hit him here and just
I'm just saying, yeah,
failing?
this is really bad here.
Yeah.
This is the most obvious.
Literally,
yeah.
He then gets like 2 feet from him at one point.
Definitely. But anyway, at the very beginning,
you could say maybe he's just trying to fuck with him, like he knows he's got him. So let me
that's
torture
what I'm saying.
him for a while.
Is he just fucking with him? Like right there, like 2 feet away, because it's bang dead.
But
I did notice. I really like. He's doing like the da 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 sort of conducting right there, and the score actually sort of matches that. Like it's still the sort of sinister action movie tone, but it's got that sort of circus music behind it as well.
Very Joker vibes.
Really nice bit of score there that I'd never noticed before.
But anyway, at the very beginning of the quiz
section, that was like
section,
a very impractical controller.
Probably.
Yeah. At the very beginning of the quiz section, there's a quote he gave in '93. But he said...
I should have been in Demolition Man.
He said, casting black actors is still strange for Hollywood. Denzel gets the first offer. Then it's Danny Glover, Forrest Whitaker, and Wesley Snipes. Right now, I'm the next one on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
Did you really break that easy just from freezing it?
Probably.
Eventually. I think maybe it was quicker than it could have happened, but it would become brittle.
Think it works in theory. It's not one of those things where I'm like...
If Mythbusters come back, that's one of the myths they need to test. Which I know they can't all come back, because some of them are dead, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
R.I.P. Grant.
And there's a laser gun that we didn't see at all in the movie until now.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Why did they have a laser gun in the cryo?
I think that's the thing they used to cut out the prisoners from the ice, if I'm not mistaken. And then after he banged it, it started getting more like a Thor blaster or something, or like something you see in the Master of the Universe movie. Fuck, we need to watch that. I think that's 86 or 87, so if we're looking for an anniversary, we've missed it / it's coming up, but...
Somebody let us know on Twitter how many citations we would have gotten just from this episode alone.
Wait, let me help. Fuck.
Alright, that's a callback to earlier in the movie. Mm-hmm. And Snipes' delivery there is great when he's like, good memory. But I don't feel like it was right for the character. I feel like he would have had more of a maniacal laugh behind that and like,
maybe.
Good memory, motherfucker. Maybe not the motherfucker, because again, it's not Samuel L. Jackson. But I feel like the delivery was fine, but it didn't fit the character.
Yeah.
And I also just realized watching this movie again today that they foreshadowed the way that Spartan was going to defeat Phoenix when Phoenix says, you know, I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached.
Yeah.
So it was Chekhov's beheading.
Punch.
What?
I said punch.
I have questions.
There's no punch there. These dudes are in shape. Well, I don't know. We never see Snipes topless, so...
At least with all the rubber on and whatnot, he looks equally matched.
This movie would have been so much cooler if they just used a sword once.
Yeah, I'm saying she had one on her office wall.
But don't bring a sword to a gunfight.
It's the freezy ball.
Okay, probably my second least favorite part of the movie is coming up in the climactic scene here.
Uh-huh.
It seems way too slow. I know they slow it down intentionally, like they slow the frames down. Mm-hmm. But it also seems like Spartan could have stabbed it. I mean, Phoenix could have stabbed Spartan. in the time it takes.
Probably.
He's not even monologuing. They're both moving, and it seems like he actually intentionally did it slow motion. Like, I gotta be dramatic, but I want to kill him. Like, classic I don't know.
Slow frames.
Is it as bad as...
Look at how slow it looks like he's moving.
You would not see those slow frames very commonly.
And I also don't think Spartan could have gotten up out of that quickly enough.
Definitely not, considering how close he was.
Did you see that jump? The jump almost looked like the electrifying one earlier.
Yeah.
I think they could have pulled that off a little bit better. But I always thought this was a pretty badass way to finish him off. And the frozen blood.
Yeah, the frozen blood.
What is that blue ball that freezes water?
I don't know.
I mean, that's like some of that nitrogen stuff. Yeah. There's some sort of nitrogen doing the freezing.
It kind of reminds me of if you had super cooler wall ball.
And yet again, an explosion.
Tap it and it instantly freezes.
And then it is just freezing the whole facility, and now it's blowing up because freezing equals explosions.
And you'd think that explosion would start thawing some things out.
You gotta get the scene of him running away.
Yeah, duh.
And again, mirroring the scene at the beginning of the movie. Again, which I think they took some inspiration from for the Burn Notice finale. Don't look great. It's just a wing of the building. They don't want to blow the whole building. It's not like earlier. We already did the whole building collapse. We just need to take out part of it this time.
Yeah.
And once again, we don't see him actually escaping the explosion.
Yeah, no jumping out the window or anything.
He's just fine afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah, and Burn Notice, I think you actually saw him make the jump. And this one is just like, yeah, we just assumed.
It's like, oh yeah, he was engulfed in the flames and stuff, but he was fine.
Yeah,
he's fine.
He's fine. Yeah.
We literally have not seen him burnt once.
Exactly.
We have not seen any injuries to him, actually.
He's got some blood on the chest.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of blood.
I was to say, he had a cut.
I think he's just the Terminator, honestly, in this movie. He barely gets injured at all.
Plot armor.
So you're going to put Spartan against the Terminator? That's your matchup now?
Yep.
Fucking A. Dude, you just got fined.
Yeah, like 1 credit.
Yeah, or maybe half a credit.
Yeah.
It's probably his first offense. But see, it's a good thing Otho stayed around. They really need him to start to sort of smooth the transition here. And it's just, I just like the way that, okay, like Friendly and the Chief of Police, they're now the de facto government.
Yeah.
No elections or anything else. Yeah, you guys just handle it.
The somewhat leader of the one group of
the leader of the revolution and the Chief of Police.
Yeah.
Who was clearly subservient to the doctor.
Yeah.
Perfectly reasonable.
I would imagine many people from your generation would not be fond of this aggressive kiss right here. But it's a movie.
I'm not part of the generation.
She was clearly
She was clearly okay with it.
She was clearly smitten by him through the whole movie. She doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And again,
I like it.
It's a movie. And it's a 90s movie, and it's like an early 90s movie, which is basically an 80s movie.
Yeah.
But here we go. We gotta end on the note. What about the damn seashells? Literally the last thing you see in the movie. Or the last thing you hear.
Still not as funny as the...
I mean, it
Los
is a
Angeles
good
burns.
finish, though.
Spartan wonders about the 3 seashells.
Well, he's got to figure out how to live in
Instead of wondering about his daughter.
Yeah.
This is one thing I want to know. About your daughter? No, I use the goddamn seashells.
I don't care about my daughter.
Cortez,
how do I wipe my ass?
Dan Cortez, that was the former VJ who was playing the piano entertainer in Taco Bell.
I haven't shit for 3 days, so I don't know how to use the seashells.
One of the so-called scraps was Jack Black. I don't think it's that Jack Black.
Probably
I think he would have been too young at this point, because I was like 13, 14 when this movie was made. Yeah. I don't think Jack's that much older than me.
How old is Jack?
I'm looking it up.
But it's possible. I mean,
Jack Black is 54 years old.
So he's 10 years older than me. It could have been Jack Black. Damn. I'm curious now.
Looking it up.
And apparently Sting did the theme song here. I knew he was a world champion wrestler, but a singer too. No, I know it's Sting from the Police, but I didn't realize he did the song. I'm a Demolition Man. Oh yeah. Some great lyrics there. I guess I'm just gonna sit here and vamp until you find out if that's really Jack Black. I thought we were wrapping it up, but Mike Blaze. That's a cool name. Assistant property manager.
Is that what Jack Black looked at like at the time?
I don't know. Let me see.
I don't know. I just found this Reddit post that says Jack Black's cameo in Demolition Man. Right. And then something saying that's like his third movie lower down.
Oh yeah, that looks like Jack Black.
Yeah.
So he's the one that Stallone took the gun from down there. That's badass. I had no idea. I mean, the first time I heard of Jack Black was probably when he was in Shallow Hal, which is a fun movie too. But that's really cool.
Very early in his
I had no idea.
A very small
third
before
movie.
he broke out.
So how about that? We got Bill Cobb, we got Jack Black,
Had a lot of
Nice.
Sandra
quite some
Bullock.
names. He wasn't a big name at the time of this film, but he went on to be one.
This is an all-star cast.
Apparently he was born in Santa Monica, California.
Nice.
Native St. Angeles. All right, so you guys saw this movie for the first time today.
And second.
Clearly, you guys you dug it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liked it.
I mean, it's not the same as when I saw it for the first time in '93. With I probably built it up more for y'all, and obviously it's a different world. You've had different experiences, but like I said, I really dug it back then, and I still enjoy it. I still think it's a really fun watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And we hope you thought that this podcast was fun as well. We want to encourage you to check out our Patreon. I got to remember to mention that. Patreon.com/LexiConvo. Get yourself some cool Lexicon-inspired stickers and bonus episodes and help support the show. And, of course, make sure to come back next time when the conversation will continue. But until then, I am and will continue to be Maddie.
Lexi.
Dylan.
And this is Lexi concluded.
Bye. Apparently Jack Black was first in a Pitfall in 1982 Atari 2600 commercial and his Teen Ring hat.